No, because the company.
Okay, for everybody that is on, sorry, we apologize. Hey guys, we apologize that we got kicked off there. We're gonna go ahead and get started again. They're not gonna be on yet, but I sent out the link. They'll get it in the next couple minutes. Thank you. I know you do, but it gets tons of back microphones, so for the people out here in the host, we really can't. They said they turned the air down on the weekend, but when we keep it open,
I'll keep your audio open and close it.
and that's just.
I'll stop reading.
Can I, Cody, can I leave it like this, or do I need to switch it?
So yeah, you do the screen share.
BJ, if the car could start smelling, it would help you just throw you out.
You can. I don't know if anyone will take me.
Okay.
Is that utility coverage?
Yeah, some of the maps are. There you go.
Right.
Actually, turn on that. Your warranty.
Where
Eliminate that one.
Right.
All right, so those that are online, sorry about getting kicked off. We are back on. Can you verify that anybody's back? You recorded it?
I don't know. This is
Oh, this is it. So you're seeing,
yeah, I'm seeing why.
all right. So when it goes to this screen, they need to eventually see this screen.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there.
it's not P.
Okay. So this is the map that shows the states that we're in and the utilities that we're in within each one of those states. If there's ones that are missing, I'm sure this will get updated as we continue to go through additional utilities. So the details of the PPA, 650 or greater, one person that is on title, no bankruptcies within 5 years. Again, one homeowner has to pass credit. Co-signers, unless they're on title, don't mean anything, doesn't work. It is a single family detached home primary residence.
So no townhouses no townhouses.
Depending on how they're classified, sometimes that is still considered. If they have a wall between, they can be a townhouse.
Yeah.
It's how they define that wall between them that look at it as a detached home versus a single family home.
Okay, so if their roofs are different from the neighbors.
Yes.
Then that's detached.
Yes.
Silly question, probably answer as I ask it. But if there's a two-family home that's owned, the whole family home owned by one homeowner, there's a two-family structure, that's disqualified too. Like it's one home owned by one person.
So if it's a single family home that they cut in.
Like an upper
How many meters does it have?
Two. Let's say two-family house. Some people, I know a lot of people in Portuguese do that actually. It's always wondering, it's one homeowner, but they.
Here's what I'll say, run it, you can only do it with the owner of the home. And
Right.
you only be attached to their meter.
Right.
Try it.
They're the
find
only
out.
homeowner.
Try it, we'll find out.
Okay.
I agree with that. Seriously.
So a homeowner who's renting out an apartment might
Right,
qualify.
but they own the whole
If their
structure.
meter is good enough.
Yeah.
Usage rate.
Yeah, so.
Are you seeing
We're
this?
just gonna test to find out what the actual parameters and features. Okay.
Hopefully it'll maintain that.
So like, if
Yes.
the homeowner rents out that property, but the homeowner is fine with placing panels on
Yeah,
there.
that's part
No,
of it.
they have to be living there.
That's what it
Or at least
is.
have a meter in their name.
So there has to be primary residence. The only way they're ever going to know that it's not the primary residence is if the homeowner says, this is not my primary residence, this is a vacation home. Because right now, vacation homes do not qualify. Otherwise, we're really not going, there's no way of validating it unless the homeowner turns around and says, hey, this is a vacation home. How do you define somebody that is looking, let's say they spend 6 months in one location and 6 months in the other, where? About the only other way to verify it is where do they do their tax returns?
Once
Okay,
again, this
so
is
if
the
it-
anomaly and not the norm.
Right. Most of the time it's, one home. Yes.
Can I send it to a wish list, just a wish list?
Mhm.
Can you try to visit a co-signer option? Because I know a couple people.
We are.
that
We are.
It'd be nice to have.
The same thing with trust. So right now, trusts are not part of it. Ground mounts are not part of it, but those are things that we're trying to add to the program.
Sort of,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only way we make money is when we do financing. So if we can Finance, we want to
Yeah,
finance.
because other people are doing it.
Right,
So then that means that the homeowner would have to be also on the bill, obviously.
correct. Yep. So again, no vacation homes, no ground mounts, no trust as of right now. It is a 20-year term. The difference in, or the sizes are anywhere from a 20K down to a 2K. We are looking at increasing it, but the vast majority of what you've done has gone between 2K and 20K. I think you had 60 or 70 projects over the last year and a half that have been larger than 20K. So it's not a lot, but those are the ones that are big ones that you'd still like to be able to get. So we are revisiting the size of the system. No down payments. The escalators are anywhere from 0 to 2.9 or any variation between, but that's going to be set for you, is my understanding. It's not something you're going to turn around and go, okay, well, Mr. Customer, you can have 1.9 or you want a 2.9. It's just going to be, this is what you guys are selling. It keeps the message a lot easier, and it also makes it easier to tell the customer this is how much we're selling the system for when it comes to cost per kilowatt hour. So you're going to be able to go into the home and say it's 15 cents. You don't have to worry about, adjusting that escalator. You're going to be able to go in saying 15 cents and it has a 2.9 escalator as an example, or maybe it might be 15 cents and it's got a 1.9 escalator. Whatever it is for your area that works best to be able to go sell and help you be most competitive, that's what you're going to have. Okay?
So as of Friday, if I go and talk to them and
They're going to build a proposal based on this market or your market you're in, that's the product that you're going to be selling. When I say product, the financing with the cost per kilowatt hour and the escalator that is for your area.
and then that means if it's showing me 2.9, then 2.9 is going to be applied every single year. just
That's
like
correct.
it's used.
Yes. Yep. One of the things that we do as a company is just like the eradication of darkness, which we are not going to play another video. We're just, on this computer, we're just going to leave it as is. But in the eradication of darkness, we like giving back. We like helping. And one of the things, the commitments that we've made is if we can't save a customer money, we will not write the deal. So no matter what, you can go into the home just to give the customer peace of mind to say, the great thing about SunEdison, even before we get started, or if they have any reluctance to even letting you in the home, is one of the great things about SunEdison is if we can't save you money, our conversation is extremely short because SunEdison won't allow us to put a system on your home if we can't save you money. So you're guaranteed to save money, or you don't have SunEdison solar. Okay.
Is that a written guarantee?
They won't even do won't even sell it.
Yeah.
What happens to the incentives on a PPA? We do take those incentives and we apply them back to lower the payment. I can tell you that we give more of that money back to the homeowner because our cost of goods is higher because we have a higher quality product. So the only way we can be competitive is if we give more of the ITC or the depreciation back to the homeowner to lower their cost per kilowatt hour. Most companies are selling the cheapest thing they can find to be able to be competitive in the marketplace. We're going to allow you to be competitive in the marketplace, but sell a higher quality product. Okay?
So there's a differentiator. You guys have to realize there are, a couple of negatives, but if we were here first and then we moved to Solar City the opposite way, we would have a heck of a lot more negatives moving to them. We got 2 positives and a lot more negatives versus the other way. We've got a lot more positives and only, 2 things that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
So, think about it, the flip side.
What happens at the end of 20?
At the end of 20, the customer can either buy the system or they can renew up to 10 years in 5-year increments. It is something that the homeowner needs to elect out of. So if they don't elect out of, it will renew for a year. And then if they don't elect out of it, it'll renew for another year and another year and another year. But if they go, I want to extend, then it's going to be a 5-year contract.
And it's typically 3-month notification.
I don't even know I'd have to read the contract to determine what that, and we can look over a contract.
So,
Is one of the options to remove it at no cost?
Yes, it is. And when we remove it, we do turn around and take the standoffs and replace the shingles. Not all companies do that. A lot of times they'll go take the panels off, they'll go pull the inverter, but they leave the standoffs in the home. Yeah, they won't take them off.
Leave the actual mounting equipment.
Some companies will. We will not. We'll take those mounting brackets off and we'll put the shingles back. Now, keep in mind, we have an area where we had to go replace the shingles. There may be a difference in coloration. Those shingles may not match identically, but we're going to do it to the best of our ability to go replace that area to look the most natural.
If the order renews for 1 year, what's the escalator on that?
It's more than likely it's still going to turn around and be a 2.9. Whatever it was originally is probably going to continue on.
So it's 10% on some of
We're
the.
just gonna have to read over the contract.
Yeah.
So we will remove the system, we will replace the shingles and the,
So
we
we'll
will
take
take the rack off?
Yes.
we'll take all the racking off and we'll put so we'll bring it back to the original condition of their
As
roof.
close to the original condition as possible, same solution.
Okay, I did not get that whole thing, SunEdison applies all incentives to reduce the system cost. What do you mean by that again?
So there's incentives in different marketplaces. So you have the 30% ITC, you have depreciation, you might have SRECs, you might have a state rebate.
Right,
We take that money, so the homeowner does not get that money,
right.
and we apply it to give a lower cost per kilowatt hour.
So they do not get the $5,000 New York State tax credit that we usually offer?
Is that the New York State has to go to the homeowner, correct?
But
Right.
there's also
No, the city
the.
or state.
So there's in New York, there's three. Obviously, there's the ITC, there's a NYSERDA, which right now is at 70 cents per watt.
Mhm.
Okay, those two normally go to the company. And then there's the New York Sun Initiative, where 25% of what they spend on the green energy, they give the tax credit for 15 years or until it maxes at 5K. So if they spend $1,000 on their SunEdison bill, they would get $250 to write off of what they owe the state taxes.
So that
So
portion of
we're-
it goes to the homeowner, does not go to
So we're
SunEdison.
still able to say you will get $5,000 in tax credit?
Up to.
Up to, yes, can't oversell that.
25% of each of their payments.
Yes.
Right, I've been saying that, but when I first say a sentence, I've always said that unless the system size is smaller, that's the only time I haven't seen $5,000 on there, then it's like
Or if
$3,700.
they're not paying New York State taxes.
If they're retired, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not refundable. It is not refundable, the New York Sun Initiative. If they don't pay New York State taxes, they will not get it. Yep, you've been buying the customers.
This is not welfare.
No,
You
I
don't get stuff for free.
I said.
I know, I said in the beginning too, I said, it was refundable, I was wrong, so it was unintentional.
I take all that.
So frequently asked questions. This hopefully will answer a lot of your questions. When's the last day to cancel? They can do it any day, anytime prior to construction. When they go sign a contract, they have the typical 3 days right of rescission, 3 business days. But if at some point in time the homeowner wanted to cancel after the fact, they could, up until the point where we start construction. Now, I wouldn't necessarily go blab that to every customer, that they can go cancel anytime they want to. But in those certain scenarios where that's what you have to do to get the deal done, then you can say, it's really kind of a no risk for you. I mean, even if you wanted to cancel the last day, you could. Okay. When they sell our options, when the homeowner sells their home, they can transfer the PPA upon credit approval, just like everybody else, or they can purchase the system. Okay. The roof warranty we already talked about. It's 1 year post-install or the length of any existing warranty. What happens when the homeowner gets a new roof? They simply contract with a approved SunEdison installer. They pay that installer X amount to go take it off and put it back on or store it or whatever the case may be, and that's their deal.
So we don't know
So
what the
this is-
number is, we can't say it's $500, we're gonna find out specifically from the installer, we'll find out from them, if it's $400, it's 400. It's 500, it's 500, so we'll find out specifically for each territory again, and then we can add that into our normal pitch. just
Yeah,
like we
because the
was
way
talking
for
about.
them now is sweet, it costs us $1,500, but it's capped for you.
Right, so we can still, if it's $750, we can say
Always good.
it costs $1,500, but they,
Never
go for $750.
Capped at five.
No, it will, it's always $499. It's not capped, it's always gonna be $499. So we'll find out from this specific installer that's certified.
You may not have to take everything off. In that scenario, you're having to go sell. If somebody's got to come to their home and take 3 panels off to go roof a section, it's going to be $499. In our scenario, it is whatever it is.
I just, for the customer, it just sells well when you say it cost us, but it'll never cost you more than this. They know what the expectation is. Otherwise, it's
Well,
entirely.
And again, that's the story you've been telling. This is just going to be a different story.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's just a better story. I'll sell whatever so we have, but it is a nicer story.
But we don't know what that story is yet, so until we find out who the installer is, who's gonna be the same person that's gonna be taking it off, then we'll know what that story is. It could be better. So,
But it's still gonna be capped.
don't know.
That would be nice.
That's installer specific.
So times that they can purchase anywhere from year 6 to year 20 and anywhere in between. So that's typically different than most. Most will say you've got to do it at year 6. If you don't do it at year 6, you have to wait till year 20. Okay, I don't know what it is right now.
It's same.
Same, okay. The definite timeframes tend to happen more on a lease. A lease locks you in to where it says year 6 or year 20, nowhere in between. A PPA tends to be more flexible. That's another,
It's on the anniversary every single year.
even on a lease.
No, at least there is no purchase option.
Okay, so on this, it's on the anniversary and they can do it at any time. I'm just saying a lease, you're more locked in as a homeowner than in comparison to a PPA.
Correct.
Or when they sell their home. So if they sell their home, there's going to be a chart that says, okay, you're selling your home in year 10. If you'd like to be able to go ahead and buy it, this is how much it's going to be in year 10. You can do it in 15. This is what it's going to be in 15, or you can just transfer it to the new homeowner. This, where it says upon approved credit,
Yes.
it is not saying that it is the same criteria as it is on the first homeowner. So it could be less and it could be more, but I can tell you it's in our best advantage to go get the new person approved. We don't necessarily want the homeowner to go buy the system in year 10. We would sooner they transfer it to the next person. So we're very eager
That's a great selling point.
to go get it approved.
So the next homeowner basically has to be approved for credit or has to buy the system.
That is correct.
I usually tell them they're gonna need credit to buy the house, so they shouldn't have a problem getting that.
And then automatically transfers over, or that person also has to sign things and,
If I'm transferring the PPA,
again,
they would have to sign, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. At the end of the contract, they can either purchase the system, they can renew for up to 10 years in 5-year increments, or we will remove the system and make their roof whole.
And that purchase price would be predetermined?
Yes. There's a chart that's on the contract.
Is there an option to upgrade?
So this came up yesterday.
Yeah.
But flat out, why would somebody if I wanted to go upgrade,
Well, 20 years from now, the technology is more advanced.
so aren't you going to have SunEdison come take the thing off and go put the new one on?
Yeah, so yes.
That would be an
So-
upgrade, yes. You
So
can upgrade.
there's not
It's not on there, so
There's
that's
not a
why I'm
stated
asking.
option, but you can have to take it off. We can sign a new agreement with new stuff.
So yesterday, somebody brought up the fact of, if there's a technology upgrade in there, it happens in 10 years, we'll go ahead and upgrade the system at no charge. That's what they were telling customers.
That's a great idea. We can do that.
No, you cannot do that. I had never heard that. I'm like, what? Who in their right mind would do that? Or they want to take panels off because they're losing or not using as much power, or they want to add panels because they are using more power. That is also, you cannot do that.
You can add another system, signing a new contract specific to that system and connect them together. But you cannot add panels to these. Once the contract is set with that many panels, that's how it's set. There's no adding.
Because of this being put into a fund, and that fund is trying to take tax equity and depreciation, I can't go take 2 panels off the home and go, oh yeah, sorry about the whole tax equity thing. I know we're taking 2 off and it's in year 3. That's not going to happen. Same thing would apply as I want to go add 2 in year 3. That's not going to happen. It's going to screw up the whole tax equity and depreciation. So that does not happen. I don't know if anybody's ever told a customer that, but we heard that the other
They have
day.
to sign a new contract, a separate contract.
But we can
For a
sign
second system.
It's what, as of right now, they couldn't because we don't allow a second system. So
Oh, okay,
as of right now,
as of right now.
Yeah.
That's an extreme case. I've done that once with a Solar City customer that had already been installed and turned on, and their salesperson left, quit. And, they wanted more power, so.
Mhm.
but we can still say what you said, that the system is designed in such a way that it's already accepting and it will be compatible with whatever is coming up as far as.
battery wise, we're designing your system for the future. So when you go on and go add additional components to it, the system will be designed to be able to accept those components, which is a true statement, whether it's batteries, it's load monitoring, the gateway's already there to be able to do that type of stuff.
Okay, but as far as technology advancing, no.
We're not going to go replace panels when a 275 watt panel becomes the standard. We're not going to go take the 270s off and go put a 275 on there.
Right,
You only ever get upgraded to solve.
Here's,
Yes.
when you think about efficiency, right, we're gonna install panels that work now. Everything else that technology is going forward in every device and every light bulb and everything that you have in your house, fridge, dishwasher, all those things are going towards using less power. LED lights can, an entire house changeover, LED lights can reduce their consumption by 40%. okay? So that technology is always going to improve and always going to be changing, and we're meeting their needs now. They're going to have reductions in their power usage over time, and that's gonna just happen naturally, okay? So this worry that somehow their electronic, usage is gonna go up, it's gonna skyrocket, unless they do something drastic like new air conditioners, new swimming pool, that kind of stuff. Hot tub, that's right. They're gonna be seeing a downgrade, they're going to be using less power just because that's the way our nation is headed. And it has to head that way. So this is a great solution. It's a great solution for a long period of time. And this worry about adding to or taking away from the system it shouldn't be a concern.
Mhm. Well, people don't generally express it that way. They just, they have no idea and they just say, well, I don't know, technology, I mean,
Can I?
it could be.
Yeah,
I wanna know if they
somewhere.
can.
What I just
Could be
told
doing
you is
something.
exactly what I tell a customer.
Yeah, I like that.
And it makes sense to them. It's like, as soon as you keep buying, because you see light bulbs change over at the hardware store? Yeah, well, pretty soon they'll all be that way. And that's the only thing you can buy. And you're using 40% less power because you had to change them out because it's the only thing you can purchase. It's good for you. Your system will already produce what you need now. You're gonna see that efficiency come. And then I move on. You tell them, and then you move on.
So it is a 20-year term. We've already talked about where the incentives go. How does the customer get billed? The customer gets billed based on what it produces that given month. So if it produces 900 kilowatt hours and it's 15-cent rate, they're gonna get a bill 15 times 900. If the next month it produces 1,000, they're gonna get billed 1,000 times the 15 cents, and they're gonna have a bill for 150
And
bucks.
if they don't use all that, that's gonna become credits through the net metering process, the way it was with the lease. Right?
Yep.
Correct. So that's on the utility side
Right.
versus on the solar
But
system
they're
side.
gonna pay for it when it produces.
That is correct. So if they go on vacation for an entire month and it produces 1,000 kilowatt hours, they're still going to have a bill for 1,000 kilowatt hours times 15 cents.
So it's gonna be.
And now those 1,000 kilowatt hours are gonna go back to the utility, and they're gonna be able to use them in future months, based on the net metering law.
Can I ask you, in regards to, it was on another slide, and is there anything that we can kind of say to the customer in regards to percentages, like what's expected, as the potential savings? We are used to saying 20 to 40%. Is there any percent like that we can kind of say?
It's
Like,
gonna be what the price of the kilowatt hour is. So if it's
Figure that out with the
11.4
contract.
in National Grid, then you're gonna say that, a similar thing.
but when do we find out what rate I can say at the door?
When you get your first, proposal. Yeah.
So okay.
So they're gonna
first
be,
I get
they're creating dummy proposals right now, so you'll have an idea in your specific area of what you'll be able to say at the door.
Okay, so
Yeah.
because I do want to say. at
But
the
it
door,
does
kind of-
vary based on home to home.
It
Okay.
does vary.
Mhm.
Based-
What they're, well,
It did the same thing with Solar City. I quote everybody 11.4 to 12 cents, tell them it's gonna be more than it's gonna be less.
Right.
And then it comes out 11.4, and I've had customers at final contract get 11.1. My install on Monday and Tuesday was 11.1. My install last week was at 10.7. And I have no clue how it came out, but the algorithms did it. So just give yourself enough room and always tell them it's gonna be more, and then when it's less.
it's good news, yeah.
So tell them it's gonna take 3 to 6 months to install, when it takes 2 months, they're stoked. So it's all about managing your expectations and managing your customers' expectations, and always under promise.
Right, but I do want to give them a max so that I can compare it to National Grids.
So
Yes.
30%,
Yep.
Same
30%.
what you're doing right now.
I always say 15 to 30%, because I can always, and I always
These-
say, some months it's gonna be 5% savings, some months it's gonna be 30% savings, but it'll always be less than what you're currently paying over that 12-month period. And then you ask them, do you pay New York State taxes? Well, here's another 25%, so right there, it's at least 25%, right? So
A customer that's just purchased a house, can they get a site survey to get their 12-month
Bless
usage
you.
calculated?
So we would use their bills to get their 12, you're saying the
They only
actual,
have one bill at this time?
they only
So
have
they
1 month of
historical
consumption
usage.
because they're new in the house.
can they still have a site survey to determine how much it's going to be producing?
Yes.
Yes.
So how much are they gonna be using?
If they don't know, there's no way we would know.
So the reason he's asking that is because Solar City would do something called a load justification form. They would go into the house and look at all the consumption of the major appliances. That, based on square footage and the amount of people that live in the house, they would have an algorithm that would create a rough estimate of system size. And then, you know,
How many times are you selling 100% offset based on the roof space?
Well,
2/3 of the time, at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
2/3.
Because we look for the houses that way.
Got it.
I ask customers to get the bill from the previous owner, if I can.
That's acceptable.
Yeah.
That's not allowed with Solar City.
Gives a good idea. Our CAD guys, right, would like to just see, you know, it gives a better idea, a better estimate.
It's only in their best interest.
Available from the utility companies.
Yeah.
So they're just-
But they have to get permission.
They do have to get permission from the old homeowner.
The cool thing is that we're gonna figure it out.
Yep.
Right? We're going to figure it out and we're going to help them. So if they only have 1 month usage, they only have 1 week usage, you're like, yeah, I'm your guy and I'll figure this out for you. And CAD will work with you, we'll figure out a solution for them, we'll figure out what their usage is, we'll make an
That's kind of
estimate.
what we want to know, is that
Yeah,
it's not
Absolutely.
disqualifying them immediately because they just bought the house.
we'll figure it out.
That's all that is.
How does the customer know if it's producing energy? One, they're going to be able to monitor themselves. Number two, we're going to be monitoring for them.
Plus they'll get a bill the following month telling.
Yes, they will. What happens if SunEdison goes out of business? It's very unlikely, but if we did, we have the warranty reserve, which we've already spoken about. And then where are the panels made? Are they made in China? Nope, they're actually made from SunEdison, US company, publicly traded manufacturer. They've got a warranty reserve. Just want to make a note on this one that PPAs can be sold without internet.
Are we gonna get these FAQs by any chance?
Yep,
We'll have to create
Nice,
one
but
only
I
because
mixed
the
up,
one that I took all of these out for the ones, this segment of it. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Never mind. We'll figure it out. You're already doing that stuff. All right. You already know this, so we don't really need to spend a lot of time there on how to sell a PPA. I mean, free. All you just pay for the power that you're producing.
And please don't say free, no offense, just say at
No
no
cost.
cost.
I agree.
Free is a
Yeah.
scary word, just say at no cost.
I actually say that SunEdison is going to pay for panels installation and maintenance for the entire time you have the system. We take all the risk, you just get to purchase energy at a lower cost.
Or you're gonna say, just like you didn't pay for the line coming into your house, the pole outside, you just pay for the electricity, same exact thing. We pay for the power system, you pay for the electricity.
And the permits as well, right? You guys pay for
Yes.
the permits.
That's nice.
But it comes out of our pockets.
This stuff we've already talked about, so I don't want to spend time on things we've already talked about. Analogies. So analogies are just different things that allow customers to understand what we're talking about when we talk about solar speak and help them relate to something they already do or know to our industry. So we're just going to do a couple of analogies for PPA. So a PPA, because some people don't even know what a PPA. You go into a home and go, oh, PPA, I have no idea what that PPA is. And you go, oh, it's a power purchase agreement. I still don't know what that is. Well, what it's like getting a car, or a car company giving you the car, they're paying for the gas, they pay for the insurance, they pay for all the maintenance, they change the oil, replace the tires, do the tune-ups, make sure it looks good, and all you have to do is wash the car every once in a while. You pay for the mileage that you drive, and you pay less than you currently are. And by the way, because it's a SunEdison PPA versus everybody else's PPA, you actually get to choose the car that you want to drive. And when I say you get to choose the panel or inverter, I'm not saying you're choosing this SunEdison panel, it's a 270 versus this SunEdison 275. What I'm saying is here's a SunEdison panel and here's everybody else's panel. So you can choose this panel over here, which is a white poly silver, or you can choose an all black module that looks elegant on your home. Okay. Another analogy, I love this one. It's like having the bank give you a home of your choice, and they mow the grass, they fertilize the lawn, they take care of the pool, they maintain the hot tub, and all you have to do is wash the windows every once in a while. You pay for only the days that you're actually living in the home, and you pay less than what you are right now. Okay.
Nice.
By the way, I
These
want,
slides are last got hold of.
yes.
Last two.
There's one more. There's one
I
more.
haven't seen it yet, but I know I want it.
Okay.
I
Yes.
just wanted to ask on the previous thing, it came back to my mind. If they opt to buy the system after 6 years, because it was 6 to 20 years, right?
Mhm.
do they have to re-sign and start with your financing, or do they
So
have the option to finance? What I'm asking, and do they have to re-sign the contract?
as of right now, they cannot use one of our existing financings to turn around and go buy the system. They would have to go to their bank and go get a home equity loan or whatever to go buy the system when they want
At
to buy
6
the
years.
system. Yes,
And after 20?
same thing.
Same.
So if somebody would have came to you just 15 short years ago, as a matter of fact, we can do something more recent. How low did gas get to here per gallon? Just in the last 3 months, $2,
225.
$2.15. So if I would have came to your home and offered you a program that you could get gas for $2.15 for the next 20 years, and all you had to do is just the same as you go to the pump and you fill up your car, you only pay when you go to the pump, but you would be able to pay $2.15 when others are paying $3, $4, $5 when gas prices go up. Who would have signed that deal? I would have signed that deal. And that's exactly what we're doing with the PPA and solar. So this is actually a real statistic. 15 years ago, the average gallon of gas in the United States was $1.45. Okay? I wish I could go get that deal right now. Okay? Now, in many parts, actually, how low did it get in Utah? It was
It
like
was like $1.80.
I mean,
That might have been
$1.80.
the car wash, get the car wash and you get 10 cents off. But it was, I remember seeing it, I saw $1.70 and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I
would have, if I could just go back and go, can I get $1.70 a gallon for the next 20 years? And I only pay when I go to the pump, and everybody else has got to pay this. Everybody's paying to the utility. So you look at everybody on the block, you're going to be the one paying $1.45, and everybody else on the block is going to be paying $3, $2.50 right now, and continuing to go up. You may not want that one. I don't know.
But then the 2.9 is added in there. You have to calculate it, the 2.9.
Yes, but utility is going to be going up too. And a
Right.
2.9 typically, historically, and actually on that note, the national average is 3.4% on utilities going up. So on the proposal, it will show the national average being 3.4%. If for some reason your utility that you're working in is greater than that, show the customer the proof, because we've got a chart that goes 2, 4, and 6%, and you need to show the customer maybe in one area you're at the 2% over the last 10 years. In another area, it's 6%. Don't give the utility any credit they don't deserve. If it's going up 6% here, show them the proof, show them the chart. Don't have them settle on the national average of being 3.4%. Excuse me, if you're higher in your area. Okay. So we're going to do some comparisons between our PPA and other PPAs that are out there in the market. So the customer gets to choose the product. Again, when I say the customer gets to choose the product, it's here I get to go choose a all black module from SunEdison, or I go choose a Chinese silver white poly module. Customer gets to choose their look. Again, an all black module versus a silver white poly. Customer gets to receive better products. Going back to those two different homes on the block, there's one home that's got the vinyl siding and one that has the brick home. It's worth more, it lasts longer. That's what we mean by having better products. The customer receives more coverage because you're selling 20 panels to 20 panels, and I can either go sell 20 panels that are 250 at a 5 kW, or I can sell 20 panels that are at a 270 and I'm at a 5.4. The larger the system, the more savings there is for the homeowner and more money for you. Higher performance because of the way we do, explain the efficiency and everything else that we produce on a global level at 103%. Guaranteed savings. We will not write the deal unless we save the customer money. It just will not happen. Okay? That does not always happen with other PPAs. And we increase the home value greater than you would with other PPAs because of the quality of the product. So if at one point in time they want to go sell their home, or they want to go sell their home and there's two homes on the block, they both have, let's say they're both made out of brick, they're identical homes, and one's got white silver poly and one's got all black, which home's going to sell quicker? Which one's going to be worth more? Okay. So that's what we mean by increasing their home value over other PPAs. So how does it compare against a loan? So on our PPA, no money down on a loan. Sometimes you've got to put money down to make the whole thing work. And a lot of people ask the question, well, why does a PPA work and a loan may not pencil as easy? It's because as a company, we're able to depreciate it and a homeowner can't depreciate it. Okay? The homeowner only pays for the powers produced underneath the SunEdison PPA. In a loan, that's not necessarily the case. However you want to say free equipment, was it no charge?
No cost.
No cost? No cost?
SunEdison will pay.
The homeowner in a loan selling, it's a longer process to go sell a loan or sell the homeowner $40,000, $50,000 worth of a product. In their mind, when they're buying this or they're doing a loan, they feel like they're spending 50 grand. Even on a PPA, even though they could be spending the same amount of money every month, they don't feel like they're on the hook for 50 grand. And until people realize that solar is affordable, I mean, you go ask anybody right now, what is their belief on how much solar is?
$40,000-$50,000.
They believe it's $40,000, $50,000. So I'll use this, I do this often. I sell chairs. If you believed and you heard that chairs were $50,000, would you even go look at chairs?
No.
Okay. And if you didn't have $50,000 in your bank account, would you even go consider looking at chairs?
Window shop, but no.
And even if you did have 50, would the first thing you go do is go spend it on a $50,000 chair? No, solar's not any different. So until homeowners realize that chairs or solar is not $50,000, we can't win. And it's just a more difficult sell selling an ownership model versus a PPA. So I'll skip through the bumper to bumper warranty. Oh, actually, on the bumper to bumper warranty, on a loan, they're going to get the standardized warranty. A standardized warranty in the industry, even though we have 25 years on our product, that is not including labor, shipping, or diagnostics. So when somebody goes and buys it and they don't get an extended warranty, they're out of pocket for labor, shipping, and diagnostics. Same thing with inverters. So that, let's say they're doing a microinverter and it has a 10-year parts warranty and then it goes prorated after that. That's the warranty they're going to be getting. If they want to get a 20-year coverage, they're going to have to pay an additional amount of money to get that 20-year coverage. The lien on the home, sometimes the loan, the bank wants to go put a lien on the home. On a PPA, it does not put a lien on the home. It's only a UCC1 filing on the solar system itself. This is huge. I don't know if you've ever used this in the past, but people don't think about this until after the fact. DTI is not a factor in the customer getting approved, so debt to ratio income is not a determining factor of them getting approved for our PPA. But more importantly, somebody goes and gets a loan for $40,000, it's now going to affect their ability to get additional cash in the future. They want to go get a car 2 years from now, they may not be able to get approved for that car because they've used up or increased their DTI by owning a solar system. With a PPA, does not affect it. It's no different than paying your power bill. And it's a lower credit score requirement. Typically in a loan, the minimum credit score is about 680. I actually talked to one of the banks we do business with, and I said, okay, I know the minimum score is 680, but what is the reality of the people that are actually buying the system, getting it installed? What is their credit score? The average credit score of somebody doing their loans was 778. How many people have credit scores of 778? And how many more have credit scores of just above 650? Your market potential is a lot greater. Now, going forward, you will have the ability, have they heard about Blackbird at all?
Matt has, but
Okay.
go ahead.
So Blackbird is an app that you will have access to. You guys do use Sales Rabbit?
Yes.
Okay, so Sales Rabbit right now tells you, it tells you whether or not they would be approved or not. So it's a soft credit pull. And it,
No, we don't.
It does not.
no, what is Sales Rabbit?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing?
I mean, it shows you an area and map, and you can kind of map out where you've done and what
Okay,
you've done.
so Blackbird,
Street sheet.
Blackbird is going to do a soft credit check on each one of the homes. It will allow you to know which home is rented and which home has an owner in it, and it will give you the customer's name. It's no different than what the pre-approved credit card companies are doing. You get the thing in the mail, and all of it's got your name on it. It's got, oh, you're pre-approved for $10,000. It's the same thing, but you're gonna have it on an app, and you'll be able to go to the door and say, hello, is Debbie there? And, oh, no, you're not Debbie. Oh, can I talk to Debbie real quick? Just tell her that Chim's here. They're already going to be, their guard is gonna be lowered because you know their name, and if it wasn't the person at the door that was the person you were asking for, now when they go run and go get mom or whatever, oh yeah, Jim's at the door, mom. Now the mom comes and, oh, hi, Jim. Yeah.
Stalker.
Yeah. So that's Blackbird.
But when they say, come on in, without them knowing who you are,
Yes.
do not go in.
Whoa,
I would if you knew me, but you don't, so come here.
I would go in. If they turn around and walk.
He would go to the
come in.
bathroom before.
Yeah, I'll come right in the door. I'll wait at the front door, but I will be inside. I will, if they say come in, I'm coming in the door. They'll have to, make me leave. And if they're uncomfortable, yeah, I'll go out, but I will.
You don't go too far.
Is that app available on Android as well?
Yes, I don't know for sure, but my guess is yes.
Because a couple of
Yeah.
us are Android.
Everything we've done so far does Android and Apple, so I don't know why this would be any
He's
different.
just asking because the sales rep that we had was only that.
Got it. Yes.
I had to circle back, but there was a production guarantee on a PPA.
No.
I think I saw it up there.
It wasn't
so-
there, but it's.
Yeah, it was mistakenly put up there, right.
Because it did show.
On that,
So it is
yes, I
incorrect.
know,
Yes.
Okay,
no
because I
production
thought that-
guarantee. I'm glad you brought it up.
It showed it.
I'm glad you brought it up. Thank you.
I'm also just getting back, just to make sure that I understand. Whatever the proposal tells me what the rate will be for that customer.
Mhm.
And as I understand, for each area, it's gonna be always different, so I have to use kind of like a window, anywhere from here to there. But then that remains the same for the 12 consistent months. Then each year you add in the 2.9, so I'm still gonna be able to project what the rate will be in 20 years for that customer if I use the calculator.
That is correct, but I don't want you to be definitely locked in at 2.9. In your area, it may be 0. In another area, it might be 1.9. That's
also changing.
For now.
That's being determined by whoever builds the proposals.
But for now, the pricing that I just received, it's 2.9.
Okay.
For every market right now, 2.9.
Okay, because that's kind of, it's kind of a good selling point that I'm always drawing out to the customer how National Grid is on a variable rate and a variable rate increase, and we are on a fixed rate. So they really like that I'm able to use that cap.
Sure.
So,
And you still can. It's a fixed rate, 2.9%. You can take their first year kilowatt price and just sit and times it with them, go 13, 14 years. And after, 7 to 13 years, you'll catch up to their price current today. And we know that their price is gonna go up.
are we still gonna have it in the proposal, like, what we have, like the
Yes,
rundown of the
Yes.
20 years? It's still gonna be in the proposal?
yes. I'll show you guys a proposal once he gets
Awesome.
this.
Yes.
So advantages of a PPA over a lease, you pay for only the power that's being produced. That is true on a PPA. It eventually happens on a lease. So you have to wait for that true up period to get your credits. Most leases also will roll over those credits to the next year, the next year, the next year. So most leases, you guys compete against leases at all?
No.
No, not at all?
Uh,
Doesn't matter.
Okay, so when the panels overproduce, when the little bar shows that they're overproducing, then the credits on the PPA, what happens with them?
That's two different sides of it. So if we overproduce based on what they use from that month,
Okay,
that's a utility side of it. That's the net metering law. Those credits go back to the utility and I use them in future months. That has nothing to
goes
do
back-
with SunEdison or the PPA.
right, but
Yep.
it does go back to the customer.
Yes, it does.
It's the same.
It's
Yeah.
the same.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
So if you don't compete against leases, then it doesn't really matter. This you don't do. That's all done internally, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. All right, we're gonna do one exercise and then we're gonna take a short break. So we're gonna split into, okay, so you're gonna count off 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna have 1s, 2s, and 3s. Actually, we're gonna go to 4 because I've got 4 things on the board. Okay, so you're gonna count to 4. You're gonna do just a little creation of each one of these. So group number 1 is going to create as many little analogies about anything we've talked about yet today. Okay. Group number 2 is going to do a script based on what you know about SunEdison, that's going to give you an advantage over somebody else that you may compete against. Group number 3 is going to specifically look at the advantages of a SunEdison PPA versus other PPAs you've sold in the past. And group number 3 is going to just talk through the details of a PPA as though you're talking to a homeowner. So on this one, I just want you to write it down. In the end, we're going to collect them all, share them all. We're not going to have you go through and do this in front of a bunch of people. It's more for your information so you can use it in the future. And we're only going to take, I would say, you get 5 minutes. So it's a very short exercise. So I'm going to have you start off with year number 1.
1, 2,
3, 4,
5,
Only 1.
2,
3,
4,
2, 3, 4.
1.
Okay, perfect. So it's gonna have 1's can go here, 2's here, 3's there, 4's there. You know your assignment. So we're for those that are online, we're gonna. I don't know how to use it. Can you?
One,
I'm asking them. I
two,
don't know.
three.
Can you guys text any questions you have to BJ?
Yeah, 805
And BJ's telephone number is 805
432
432
6177.
6177. Again, it's 805.
432 6177. And if you're on, text me, let me know that you're there. And then any questions that you have, if you guys want to do this where you talk about breakout groups for analogies, scripts, PPA advantages, and then the details of the PPA, talk about it wherever you're at. And text me and let me know that you're there. 805 432 6177. And include your name, please. Thanks.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So, I mean,
All right, so.
I'm just trying to see how we're doing this.
Give you a home. We give you the I get everything.
I hit a button. I don't know if I turned it off or not. I must have. I did hit a button. Not now.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's fine now. I don't think there's any issues.
Everything's fine now. Did you get my I'm straight and I go like this. So I just asked you a question.
You probably just, you don't need to use the phones right now. You can talk to each other.
No,
Get a little social.
have to show him.
Jim,
Yes.
you want us to
Just
remember what you said, or you want us to come up with our own analogies?
your own analogies.
Our own analogies.
Yes. The contracts I'm sending out right now actually comes into proposals went out last night and pricing we have. So pricing, I need my computer.
Sweet, so I can talk. What time do you think you're gonna you know?
356. Around 356.
Is that with an escalator of 2.9 minutes?
Could be. No, it actually won't go that way.
Is this
It is not just, we're doing a lot that.
All right.
We're
getting a game.
You have to do it.
Cody, how do I know for sure they can actually hear?
Oh,
In the audio.
I heard him on it a minute ago.
Okay. I did. I flipped it. Good. All right.
About a 45-second delay, but I'll hop on and listen.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, what about the black?
All right. Your 5 minutes are up. 5 minutes are up.
Yeah.
I know I said you didn't have to say anything in front of somebody, but if somebody wants to volunteer and actually say something of what they came up with, then they go, oh, you know, that was actually a great idea. Who would like to share? Anybody like to share?
We'll share.
All right, go ahead and share.
So
Thank you.
the PPA advantages, we said, you know, you don't have to deal with banks, finance companies, interest rates, won't affect your debt to income ratio. Responsibility for the investment falls on SunEdison. It's a simpler process to get lower energy prices. Still gives you the flexibility to own if you choose down the road.
Very
true. You lock in a low rate. So.
And the other thing with the PPA is you're able to save more versus ownership because the company gets to depreciate it and you don't. So that's one of the reasons why it's such a great deal for people to go PPA. And you take the advantage and buy, if you really would like to buy it, if somebody else is trying to sell them an ownership model, to say, you know, this is what a lot of our customers, not what I think, because if I'm a salesperson, they're not going to believe me, but our customers, what they told us is they like taking the advantage of letting, you know, taking a PPA for 5 years, and in 6 years, for the people that want to own it, they take advantage of it for the first 5 years, and if for some odd reason you end up moving, you don't even have to worry about it. With an ownership, you've got to deal with this, and but then if you'd like to buy it at the end of 5 years, you've got that option to be able to do so.
Yeah.
Rather than locking into owning it and maintaining it and everything else, try it for 5 years. And if you like the system, you'd like to buy it, we give you that option. Nice, thank you. That was probably way too long in the way that I explained it, but you get the gist of it.
So right away on the purchase, we don't, SunEdison doesn't offer maintenance and all. On the purchase, they're responsible for themselves.
We do offer a loan product that does give 20 years of maintenance free.
But if they purchase it outright with cash.
So cash.
They would not. No, they have the standard warranty. Anybody?
A little bit of overlap with what they did against the PPA, but the details, 20 years, there's no cost to the homeowner, all they have is electric bill like they do now anyway, they're just paying for the production, that's it. It transfers over like a utility, so they do sell the home, it's just like you do now anyway, just transfer the name over, it's that simple.
I like that.
Yeah.
Just like they do right now with the utilities, they
Yeah.
stop one and start the other, same thing
Yeah.
with PPA.
Just for,
Yeah.
at the end of 20 years, we can remove it at no cost. You can extend it up to 10 more years, 5-year increments. You go to the auto, but you can have that choice. You can buy it outright, like they said, in 6 year or beyond. It will be a predetermined price because you know in advance how much depreciation is. There's no deposits or fees never throughout. They're out of pocket. No maintenance fees, no repair costs, no insurance they have to pay for. We cover all of that. No monitoring fees. There's no fees at all. The only requirement we have of you is that you have to save on your bills. The credit score got to be 650 or better.
Yep.
You only, I said that, you only pay for the power production. You can choose the type of panels you want. It's kind of negative thing. The only, I wouldn't word it like this, but the only burden you would have is if you put a new roof, you have to pay the full cost to remove, store, and reinstall it. That's the only scenario you can pay for anything.
So just eliminate that from your story, please.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So, you had brought up something that it made me remember, getting approved. Do you know utilities require the new homeowner to get approved? They have a credit check from the utility. It's really no different. I mean, the credit check, you have a credit check through.
Is it 650 for the utilities too?
I actually don't know.
And
I'm
depending
sure
on
they-
depending on your credit scores, whether you pay a deposit or not.
Even like cable, yeah.
There's a credit check.
Oh. Well, they have to give you electricity if you have the worst credit
Right.
score. But they're gonna make you
have to
pay.
put $200, $300, $400, $500 down because they know there's a likelihood you're stiffing at some point in time, so they're going to get your money.
Right.
I didn't understand, by the way, when you said that with the PPA, they save more because of what depreciates?
So when there's a third-party ownership, so the fact that SunEdison owns the system, we get to depreciate it as a company. A company can depreciate an asset. A homeowner doesn't get to go do that with a solar system. So we depreciate it. We depreciate it out for 5 years. That's the reason why they can't buy it until year 6. If they decide to buy it in year 3, there's some clawback that has to be given back to SunEdison.
And so because they can depreciate for 5 years, that means that the homeowner gets additional savings.
That's
You get to
correct.
take advantage, the homeowner gets to take advantage of their depreciation by
Right.
buying it in year 6.
That's right.
We're getting it for less because of the depreciation.
Yep. So if they do want, if you're going up against somebody who wants to sell an ownership model, this is what customers do. They take advantage for the first 5 years and they turn around and buy it in year 6. You'll actually save more money.
We're group one, talking about the scripts. The obvious number one is number one renewable energy developer in the world with 5 decades of experience and more gigawatts of installed capacity worldwide than any other company. It's an American company that makes their own panels with the highest quality silicon. We take all the low quality silicon and sell it off to everybody else. So you can get that low silicon Colin over there, or the high quality from us. There's a 25 silicon.
Con doesn't sound
Silicon.
Con.
Silicon.
They got some prison time in con.
They have everybody else has a 25-year production warranty and a 10-year manufacturer's warranty. We've got a 25-year and a 25-year workmanship warranty.
Yep.
We have global 24-hour monitoring with hands-off, over-the-air resolution of any issues that might happen because of the two-way communication. So we'll install the highest possible quality equipment at the same price that these other companies will install the lowest quality equipment.
And so the tie-in with that is to pull in the eradication of darkness.
Okay.
Is that we believe it's about energy independence, not only for you, but for people around the world. And so we want you to be able to have a high quality product at the same price versus having a cheap product at that higher price. They're almost really overcharging you when it comes to the lower quality product. But with SunEdison, because we want to give back to the people, whether that's in a lower monthly payment or lower cost per kilowatt hour, we also give back to the people that don't even have power. As a matter of fact, we're part of a program with SunEdison where our goal is to give 20 million people power that don't have it today by the year 2020. We want to give back to the people that don't have the ability to have power. So it's 20 million people that currently do not have power by 2020.
Doesn't feel good. Zero was one. And then improved aesthetics of the all black panels with less penetration points on your roof.
So a hand grenade you could leave with the homeowner if they're going to continue to shop to say, if you are going to go look at somebody else's product, just make sure they tell you about the product that's going to be going on their home. And if for some reason they don't want to talk about it, I'd probably tell you to stop talking to them because they may not even know as a salesperson what's going to be going on your home until the day it happens. Whereas we want you to know, this is the number one asset in most people's lives. We want you to know what's going to go on your home. And if somebody else won't tell you or they don't know, it's probably not the right thing for you. Again, if and that's if you didn't make the sale that day and you're leaving the home and you leave that last little hand grenade. So as they do continue to shop and they ask that question, so what kind of product are you going to put on there? It really doesn't matter. It's just, we're going to be providing, they're just buying power from a different company. In their mind, they go, you know what? That guy did tell me that there's a lot of companies that they won't talk about the product and they'll just tell me, don't worry about it. I'm going to now stop thinking or considering that company, or at least have a greater chance of doing that.
Right.
Good. Anybody else? Not saying you have to, but if you like to, great.
So we did the analogies. We came up with the cell phone. And it's like, we're giving you the free phone. We're taking care of it as far as if anything happens to it, you bring it in, we fix it for you. And the only thing you have to do is pay for the minutes that you use.
Yeah.
Or, sorry?
And they can roll over too.
And they can roll over the minutes, yeah. Or the other one would be the security alarm industry in a way. They get the product for free, they get the installation for free. Anytime anything happens, we come out, we fix everything for free, or at no cost. The warranties, everything is included, and the only thing they pay for is the actual peace of mind that they're being monitored.
Okay, nice. Very good. Nice. Well, thank you. I know you didn't have to share, but thank you for sharing. All right, so before we go to the next section, is there any questions about SunEdison, about the PPA, any of our financing, things that you run into on a competitive comparison that you'd like to know more about? Yes.
It's not a big deal, but is there an auto pay discount?
There is. So when you have a proposal, it will give a estimated payment based on estimated production. If they decide to go auto pay, they save $15 a month.
Wow,
Okay?
that's.
So on the proposal, it will say X, but that X can be minus $15 if they choose to do on auto pay.
Really? So for an example.
It's not already built in, that 15's not already built in.
That's what he says.
Is built in, and if they decide, so they decide to write a check.
Oh,
It goes up $15 a
No,
month.
no. If they, they're gonna get, let's say the monthly payment on the proposal says it's $115. That's what the payment's going to be. If they opt in for auto pay, that payment is now only $100.
that's a little bit different. DPA,
That's what I told you.
DPA, they're paying per kilowatt.
I know.
So in that scenario, the monthly, heaven knows what's gonna be month to month. So if they set up an auto pay, whatever that multiply kilowatts by
You can
15
drop that
cents.
kilowatt for.
Out of that total multiplication, is there a subtraction of $15?
So
Let me put it this.
No.
what they're doing, when they're saying that number, they're just doing an average over the entire year. That bill would be like a lease, where they're gonna say it's 12,000 kilowatt hours, divided by 12 months, 1,000 is per month. They're gonna do that average. The
Jim,
reason,
doesn't the proposal-
the reason we're-
same every month.
it's not gonna be the same every month.
Jim, doesn't
No,
the
no.
proposal
wait, what I'm trying-
assume that they're going to auto pay, so the price they see, it does not?
No.
So the reason
It
why,
assumes they're going to write a check.
Oh, see,
So
so
how does the bill look
there's your
like
selling
when they
point
see
right
it?
there.
Yes.
And if you auto pay, this is gonna go down by $15.
so Solar City
Correct.
built
That's
theirs,
cool.
their system was
That's
already including
Everything's
$7.50
Double.
discount.
If you take that out, it goes up.
It goes up.
Your savings is more like
So
5%.
again, look at us as a company. Everything that I've told you today has been under promise and over deliver. In that scenario, they're under promising. Homeowner gets all jacked up by saying, oh yeah, it's $100 or whatever the case may be. But, oh, you want to write a check? Sorry, it's going to be an extra $7.50.
Right.
Their hope is it's this, and now you've just raised it. Us, we're going the exact opposite. It's how people buy things.
Yeah.
Here's, you shot the crap out of it.
else? If you
Yeah.
buy today and do automatic billing, you will get an additional $15 off.
What's 15 times 12? I'm not that smart. That's
$180.
That's $160.
That's almost like a free month's worth of payments.
Right there.
Oh, you're right,
Exactly.
you're right.
And you can spin that however you want, but basically, if you auto pay, you're gonna get a free month of electricity. Your bill's this.
Yep.
For real? Yeah, for real. Let's go. What are you having for dinner?
It's $15.
What if your bills?
Oh,
No, he's just saying in theory, let's say the average bill is $180.
Right.
That's 12 times 15 is 180. So if their bill is $90, it's like getting 2 months worth of free
So
electricity.
it's still $15 off, even if your bill is only $70 a month.
Yes, it is.
Unless it's
Does
gonna
corporate know
We'll show
about
you.
this?
I'll show you a contract. And it's, now, if for some reason there's a bounce check, it's just like everything else, bounce check, it's a $40 charge or whatever I don't have to look at the contract, but it's just like a bank.
That's awesome.
It's a great way to get check payment information. I mean,
So but
I
then,
don't wanna give people checks, whatever. So the cool thing is, it's $15 off every single month. That's $180 a year.
but then there's no way that there would be a rundown of the entire monthly payments because each month is completely different. So you're not gonna
It's
be able to.
not gonna show that, that's only on a lease. A PPA will never show
Right.
that because it's based on production.
Exactly, so the customer actually never knows what's coming out of the bank account on a monthly basis.
There's only paying $15 less.
Right.
That's good. Right.
They won't know the amount of
On
time
the,
it shows up.
on the Solar City PPA, it shows an estimated payment. It's an estimated payment.
This
Right,
is
but
still
once they
going to
get
be an
the
estimate.
agreement, they do show. what
It's
they're-
still going to be an estimated payment because we don't know that,
How much it's gonna produce.
yes. So I'm gonna show you one other thing once we get to, let's see, how can I show you this between the two computers?
But the estimated monthly that shows up on the proposal is still based on the last 12 months of usage. So it kind of gives them an idea. Where
Yes.
they're at per month. It's not gonna be like 1 month, it's.
What you can do is you can take their bill and say, this last year, you used 600 kilowatt hours this month, multiply that by the rate, this is what you would pay
Mhm.
with us, and you can obviously, that's less than what you were paying already, and then take another $15 off. So you have to write that out.
So I'm gonna pull up the contract and put it over into this other computer so you guys can see this.
The one thing she brought up though, is they won't know what's coming out of their bank account until it comes out because of the ups and downs.
Right, it's just gonna be a bell curve. You're gonna be less in the winter and more during the summer.
Surely you would get some
Higher during the
notification
summer.
that they're running a direct debit. You.
Bell curve. Like I said.
Do they send a paper statement? Right, but it, kilowatt statements?
They can check online.
I
They
check
monitor it.
online. They're monitoring.
I can't believe you don't get an email that says we're gonna debit the bank account on a certain date.
I don't send you one when I debit your account.
Good luck getting anything out of my bank account.
Did you ask that question again? Did you ask that question of him again? Did they get a paper statement?
Do they get a paper statement?
Yeah.
I actually don't know. We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Solar citizens, they still send them out. But they will at least kind of like an idea, like a ballpark, because the estimated monthly that is in the proposal is based on the last 12 months of usage. So usually people's usage doesn't change that much.
So I want to make a note on what's up on the screen right
It's not
now.
about their usage
Not that.
anymore, it's about the production coming off the panels.
So they're paying more in the summer.
They pay more in the summer and less in the winter.
The bills are like $5 in the wintertime, but 200 in the summer.
It's gonna be opposite what people are usually used to saying.
All right, so
Yeah.
one last thing that you're seeing on this.
You're just paying during the summer for
So
some
this-
of your winter consumption.
Right.
This right here, this is another advantage to our PPA versus somebody else's PPA. And this has to do with rewrites. Rewrites equal cancellations. So most rewrites on a PPA are if you're within 5%. So if the estimation was 5% plus or minus, then if it's outside of that, you've got to go do a rewrite.
So that
This is that
offsets,
percent, is that what you're talking about?
No, let's say you estimate,
it's not offset. We say it's gonna produce 10,000 kilowatt hours.
Oh, okay.
And
And then it comes back.
so you do a proposal or somebody, creates a proposal and then there's a site audit. And the site audit, you estimated that you could put 20 panels, but the site audit comes out and says you can only put 19. Okay, in a 5% scenario, you would have had to have done a rewrite.
So
We do,
rewrite is a
we do
contract change.
10% plus or minus. So you've got a larger window that you don't have to turn around and go do a rewrite. Now, the true number will be on the actual contract the homeowner will sign, but you do not have to do a rewrite on the proposal.
At least they see it,
And they will see it.
right?
So it's 10%.
It's 10% plus or minus. Okay. I should not be showing this screen, but
And we'll always receive as a salesperson that final, so we're in the loop, right?
I would assume so, but until I get it,
Okay,
I can't answer that for
all
you.
right, because otherwise, because if it's my homeowner, then my customer, I want to know what they're going through, because that's one of the benefits going through us, I'm with them throughout the process. So if I know what the final design is, it'll help me do my job better.
We will find out on that first sale.
Yeah.
And if that's not the way we want it, we'll get it done.
Yeah. I'd be blindsided.
Okay.
Oh, it came out to be
So
better,
here's-
I don't even know what it is.
here's a proposal. Let's see if I can expand this. BJ, is this on your computer?
I know,
Are you seeing this?
Where'd your wife and kids come from, Keenan?
Good one. I have hair,
All right, so this is the front cover page.
Not yet.
Okay.
Let me know when you can see the proposal.
So this front page is going to have your information, your salesperson's information, the customer information.
And for the longest time, we never had our names on those. It came up Tim Rasmussen,
Right.
the cat department head, so he'd be excited about that.
He's a Solar City all-star.
I hate to ask the question, but I went through with Solar City. When they get that final design,
Uh-huh.
will it have our name and,
Phone number.
oh,
Yep,
that's
just
the
like
right phone number?
Just like you saw up there. Can you go back up one page, Jim? So look, it says Kim Wright up there. Right there.
Alright, okay. But it'll have the right phone number.
That's the reason we have them.
We'll find
I
out.
wanna make sure.
So we've already talked about this today. So here we have this total count, and these are individual pages within the proposal. You guys choose what you're going to cover in detail and what you're not going to cover in detail. So this is page 2. This talks about total confidence. Here's Whole Food Staples, Walgreens, Fortune 1000 company, been around for over 5 decades, all that good stuff. Complete solution, the fact that we manufacture from cradle to grave, and we monitor the system 24/7. Okay.
From the rock.
This one is customized to your
Oh, yeah.
dealership. So this will have, well, it's the same picture, but you'd have your logo here. You'd have your information here. Well, you could.
Your logo here.
So is that gonna say SunEdison?
Me or?
No, it'll actually say Evolve.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's,
Don't quote him on that.
as of right now, it will say Evolve.
Okay.
It'll be sweet. Let's say it.
It will always have your logo or your dealer information here, and then it will always have a SunEdison logo at the bottom of the page. This just tells you the parameters of the system. So you've got 25 SunEdison panels. We've got a 265. It'd actually be a 270 in your scenario. We're using, it's going to say either string or microinverters or Solar Edge. The estimated kilowatt hour production year 1. This is what it looks like on your specific home.
When they get their custom design, is it gonna be like an interactive custom design where Photoshop version of the?
It will be their home.
It will be their home.
No, so what she's asking is, when they actually send out the final design,
Mhm.
it's a Photoshop picture of the panels actually on the roof, not a Google Earth.
Oh,
It's a picture that the site surveyor took. I don't know if I have any examples.
on the actual contract? I don't know if you have even a picture on the contract.
No, it's design. This is the design page.
So here's the design,
Oh, got it.
and then now they can see
Now you
approximately
can
what it's gonna look like.
CG graphics.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
had no
cool.
idea.
That could be something to
Yeah,
think of.
yeah,
because
I like that.
Customers really like that.
I don't use that
See.
much.
I do.
This will show the offset.
Okay, show.
If you have their monthly bills, this will match exactly what their monthly bills would be.
Oh,
So in this case, it's saying that there's a levelized bill every month. And in January, the orange stuff is the solar that we produced. And the little brown or gray is what they're still buying from the utility. So if it's orange, it's the solar system being produced. The brown or tan is what they're still having to buy from the utility. And the purple is overproduction for that given month based on their usage from the previous year. So in this scenario, when it goes purple, this you'd never see. This is like somebody went on vacation and they weren't there all month.
And you see it says source PV watts underneath that, you guys can go to PV watts and on NREL and do it yourself.
Okay, hold on a second.
So
Without solar,
Yeah.
with solar.
this is
Okay, so there's the energy mix.
this is the offset, but this is only looking at what we're taking off their bill. Based on an 87% offset, your average bill is $168 a month. We're going to reduce that by 87%, so you're still going to have a monthly bill of $30 from the utility on average. There's always going to be the minimum charge because they have their meter fee or whatever the base price is. Okay, that's not going to change. So in turn, we're saving $138 on average every month. This just rolls it up to an entire year.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with their payments of the solar system. Or their, I should say, PPA. This will explain, and not all this isn't a real proposal. This is done on a test site. This will be the same though. So here's SunEdison one-stop shop. Here's how others do it, to where they go by the panel, go by the monitoring, go by the mounting, go by the inverter, and you've got to go back to each one of those providers
For warranties.
for warranties.
That's what my parents are gonna have to do for their purchasing system in Indiana.
Is that also Solar City?
No, Solar City's a one-stop shop.
Except for that, well, as of yet, house.
But
So-
they don't manufacture their own.
So premium service repair. So for 20 years, there's no hidden cost to the homeowner. Insurance coverage, we have insurance coverage on the solar system itself. Here's the rock.
This is where they monitor your system from. Awesome.
Here's the app for you.
Like, that's on the-
And here are the details of your PPA. So right now, it would show if you wanted to go buy the system would be $26,500.
Is that always gonna be there?
Not always. We're trying to get it.
Show that.
I know.
Right.
We're
Am I
on a
saying this, oh, I
PPA.
could buy it, and all of a sudden now we're opening.
Actually, proposals that they built today, that may already be off.
Okay.
We've already requested for that to be taken off.
And if a customer wants that, I'm assuming that you can request that and they can build it. It's just a checkbox in the back-end system. They can check if they want to see a purchase, 20-year purchase and the PPA. You can have a stack them beside each other.
But the default is not to have it.
Sounds like.
Up and, right now, it's on there. Okay, going forward, have you done a proposal? Is that cash thing taken off yet? We can ask Tammy, but
Yeah,
just, if it's not done now,
No.
we're expecting it to be done.
you don't want it to be there.
But that
No.
is,
I think I like it on.
No, it's gonna, I don't use it
So-
now.
so
You open up a can of worms, like,
In dashboard, if you want it, write down, I want the cash purchase option there as well. If you don't, say, just send me the PPA option, nothing else. So just communicate effectively.
Yeah, I agree. And
But is
use the resubmit button, and make sure that they know and understand that that's the option that you want, and especially for the agreement, tell them what you want, But I mean, to show them 26 grand,
Yeah.
I'm like, check that out. I mean, you wanted to show out 26
if
grand?
they're already
No, but
bought
that's-
into doing it, like you said in the beginning.
That's a different
It's
mindset.
just.
Everybody's
I get it.
different, so just communicate what you want on dashboard and
That's
go
good.
get it done.
but that 26 is now after the incentives have come back to them. That's not the total cost.
Forget that that's on there for right now, because it's
Right,
gonna be
but
different on your
I don't mind
proposal.
it to be on there, but I keep saying it's $40,000 to $50,000 to get a solar
So
system.
if it
So
was
that should
left
be
on there,
26.
there's a button on the back end that somebody could have pushed. It said ITC. And we have to figure out whether the customer applies for it or not. So if the person building a proposal hit that button, then they would actually show estimated credits and incentives, the ITC amount, the sped, or the
state
New
specific.
York state tax credit, SRAX, all of that would have been put into there. So your net price after all the rebates is this. In this
That's what
scenario,
I
they
meant.
didn't click that box, so it's showing zero.
I got you, but it's not supposed to be that low, that's my point, it's not gonna be 26, it should be 26 if the button wasn't pushed, right?
The system price that we're seeing here would have been a system that would have cost the customer $26,500
Okay,
upfront, and then they have before all the tax credits.
Saying 40 to 50,000 is not correct. That's gonna be a 10 kilowatt system or above. If it's a 5 kilowatt system, it's gonna be less than that. This was an 8+ kilowatt system.
it was a
which means-
6, it was a
Or
6.
6, which means it's charging somewhere in the $4.25 per watt range.
Mm-hmm,
So here's your average monthly payment estimated
mm-hmm,
is $84. So your cost per kilowatt hour was 11.6 cents per kilowatt hour with a 2.9 escalator, 240 months, which is 20 years. This is your cost of solar, or without solar was $2,000. And the cost with solar is only $14. So you're saving $578 in the first year in this scenario. Okay. It will be different for every market. This one could have been built in Massachusetts where SRECs are through the roof. It just depends on your individual market, but the look of that will remain the same on the right-hand side.
If you don't know what SRECs are, they're state renewable energy credits.
So when your estimated cost with solar electric bill, 354 for the full year, solar system cost,
This is
what's
the
the
P,
solar?
you're saying this one?
Yeah.
That's the PPA payment. So this is that same 81. So well, this is, sorry, 84. So this 84 right there and that 84 on average is their estimated payment with a PPA.
But why is it?
That's on average. So in January, it's going to be less than $84. In July, it's going to be more than $84.
Oh, I got you. The first year, for the first year, that's what it's estimated per month. But then the
Average per
350
month.
Right, but the 354 is for the entire year.
This is the remaining portion. $354 is the remaining, in this case, 12% or 13%, because this was an 87% offset. So there's still 13% they're having to buy from the utility. That's at $354 on an annual basis. Here's your average. So we take this $84 times 12. So this is $1,434. So your total savings in year one is $578.
I got you.
It's confusing that we seem to have an annual electricity
Yeah.
demand right above.
Yeah, exactly.
a monthly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So all of the things that you're used to selling and explaining to the homeowner, when you get your proposal, write it down, make your notes, and send it into Cody or BJ for us to be able to go change those. So as an example, saying here's the solar system cost. I'm not asking them to buy anything, so I don't want to have a solar system cost.
Exactly.
That's one of the wording that I see that I don't want to go explain to a homeowner when I'm selling a PPA. If I was selling ownership, yes,
Yes.
not a PPA. Okay. So
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at that estimated first year cost without solar, $2,000, you know, with solar, $1,400, saving $600.
Yes, but what,
Right,
just the
right,
wording that
right,
it says
right.
solar system cost, while I'm saying that there's no cost for the solar system, that's
That's a
not a good wording.
Right. I would put the same word, electric bill, solar bill.
Yeah.
And do a yearly
Who's
instead
the
of a
electric
monthly.
bill?
The electric bill is
Electricity
yearly.
bill,
Annual.
solar bill.
Solar.
Yearly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
both in annual terms. You wanna, not one monthly, one
Specified, it's
annual.
annual.
and I would say
That's good.
do an average monthly on the utility and average monthly on the solar. It's a smaller number.
That's, yeah, that's good too.
The best thing about these meetings with people that are actually on the doors is the people who write these, a lot of times, they've never knocked the door.
Right.
They've never sat in the
Explain it.
kitchen
Yeah.
Let's take a
and
couple of them out.
had the uncomfortable feeling of something, you know, whatever. So
Yes.
we value and want to hear and want to see a red line.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know what needs to be changed. And SunEdison has been beyond a joy to work with, like beyond a joy. Like they are just so progressive and so wonderful to work with and so like ready to give us the tools we need to kick butt. So please,
Yeah, I think this proposal is
So-
very clear as well. It's nicely laid out.
that's cool, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So this will
So
show
as of
that.
Friday, will that solar cost thing be changed on there?
Maybe not, but don't point it out and don't sweat.
I'm not gonna point it out.
You know,
Yeah.
it should say,
Know what it is.
Time
So
for
we're on
one
the to-do
month.
list anyway.
yeah,
They don't change it by then, they'll change it in a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
we as salespeople,
Right.
we are, you know, we have to be able to adapt from one door to the next.
I know.
If we're saying the wrong thing, we gotta figure it out quickly or doors get slammed in our face. So if it says that on Friday, it says that on Friday, you can point out why it's savings and you can explain it. You're not paying for it. And I wouldn't have to say that again, you're not paying for it, because they clearly understood they're not paying for it, you know?
So this is that, we talked about this earlier, saying here's the national average, 3.4%. And then this is how we differ from everybody else. Everybody else allows the individual person building the proposal to put in their escalator that they believe the utility is going up. And there's a lot of companies that are in trouble for doing this. They would put in their 8%, whereas when the local utility might be 4%. So they look at, the homeowner looks at two different proposals and they see one that has all this savings, that must be a better deal. But the customer didn't know it was based on an 8% escalator. And then here's company B, and they did it based on a real number, which was only 4%. And that they didn't get the job because the homeowner didn't see as much savings. So that must not be as good of a system, when in reality, it could have been a better long-term. So what we do is we say, okay, here's the national average. And Mr. Customer, based on your area, what we find, and here's the proof, that you're about 5% on an annual basis from our local utility. So really, when you're looking at the total savings over a 25-year period, you're looking at, about $55,000 between, you're kind of right in the middle of those two.
How do you find that rate?
Just based on, you'd have to talk to your utility or have,
We have
or
4.8, right? So,
or have 10 years worth of
That's the number
bills.
We've been told over the entire
I mean, do you have-
so.
Who lives in the
I'd
local
say-
area that you're,
I'm saying 50% in the next 15 years because a press article came out on that. for
times
Albany,
June,
For
I've
national,
got
for
times
national
June.
grid.
What?
50% in the next 15
47.
years because of around there.
47% by 2029.
This has to do with the grid changes they're doing here.
Yeah,
So
and
it's
that's the
hard to say.
minimum it will go up.
Yeah.
and sometimes you have
But
an
it's
article or
projected.
a thing that was put into the sleeve that you received from one homeowner that the utility sent a letter saying, sorry, the utility rates are going to go up 26%.
Just
Well,
got
now
that.
you go show somebody 26% in 1 year. I don't know what's going to happen next year, but even if we're extremely conservative and we put it at 6, you're still going to save over $65,000. Now, the psychology of how you're explaining this to a homeowner, anytime you have savings, you physically say that number. Anytime you're asking for money, you only point to that price. You do not say that number. When you're talking about the utility and what they're having to pay for the utility, you say that number. So as an example, if I was up on this page, we're gonna forget that that's there for now. All right, so to go solar, as we kind of talked about before, we're going to be saving you. I'm actually going to go up here. We're going to be saving you off your current utility bill, or reducing your current utility bill on average. I really like the old mouse, it's better. On average, we're going to be taking off about $138 off your bill. And I'm physically going to be saying that, okay? But I'm also going to be saying, so right now you're currently having to pay on average about $168. And you'll still have some stuff that you'll have to pay to the utility because we're not offsetting complete, 100%. And you'll still have to pay them, my key word is paying them, $30 a month, okay? So we're going to be taking off $138 when you go solar. And for you to have solar on your home and only pay for what is produced, on average, it's only going to be, and I don't say cost, I don't say payment, it's only going to be this. And I point to that price, okay? So when you look at it, right now, you're having to pay from the utility about 20 cents a kilowatt hour, whatever it is. We're going to reduce that and save you, it's almost half of what it is, or whatever percent it is. So really, you're only looking at this. And again, I'm not saying that number. Now there is, as you see from the utility's been going up, last year alone, it went up 26%, or, on average, it goes up 6%. This will still go up a little bit, but nowhere near what the utility is going to be going up. So the increase on this is only this. So I mean, as you can see, there's just a tremendous difference. Not only are we coming in a lower rate right now, but as it goes up year over year, that percentage is a lot less. As a matter of fact, and you go through what BJ did, was saying, just to even get to current rate, it's going to take you 8 years or whatever the number of years it is, based on a 2.9 escalator, to even get to where they are today. So even if they didn't raise their rates for the next 8 years, you've got 8 years of savings. Okay. So when you look at this, here's your current electric bill. You're having to spend about $2,000. I'm going to physically say that number. You're going to be spending and giving to the utility about $2,000 for your power. And that little bit that we had up top that you're still going to be paying, you're still going to have this, $354. And your average going solar for that power is only this, and I'm not going to say it. So you're going to be saving first year savings almost $600, and I'm going to say that number. Okay, so that's the way it kind of plays out.
Before you go from there, the cash option has now been taken off as default. So if you want the cash purchase, if they say, yeah, I want to see how much if I can buy it, you can ask for it to be put on.
Or if you want that to use it to sell,
Right.
just request it and dash it.
How's that?
That
for
was fast.
speed up?
So I just write into that for please add the purchase option.
Yes.
And I can do that later on too, if the customer changes their mind, 2
Sure.
weeks later, they wanna see the purchase option.
Yeah, if they want. Costs
Okay.
$2.
So there's many different ways of looking at this. If somebody wants to look at a nice, pretty little graph, they look here. If they want to look at hard numbers, they look down here.
And there's no way for me to put on dash if you could calculate the current instead of the 3-point national average, whatever the 3.4%.
Cannot change that.
They cannot change that. That's
Well-
gonna be there.
Will you
Yes.
go back to that, the graph and the sheet? The thing that is nice about this page,
Mhm.
it gives, it's like, SunEdison looks at things very pragmatically and conservatively, and it's not hype driven. It's all about quality, and we're not gonna do this unless we save you money. And here, so you don't have to be a mathematician or have some salesman pull the wool over and figure some way to explain this. It's like at 2%, at 4%, at 6%, you could be at 0%. We're still gonna save you money. Here's a good way to look at it. Here's the chart laid out year by year, percentages, 20, 25 years. It's like, it just, I would stay on this page for as long as I needed to a person to just like, finally, you've broken them all the way down and they just kind of just melt in their chair. Deal is done, okay? But it's organized. It's not, they haven't put all these gorgeous pictures. It's just there. Even the fine print reads really well. It tells you, what it is and what it's not. And I really like this page a lot. And if I do like to use the proposal because I like them to go from this, folding their arms and looking all mad to just relaxed, And then I'll ask him for a glass of water and I'll come back and tell him to sign the contract.
And
then with the-
dinner. Or lunch.
Dinner, it
Or
depends
dinner.
on if they cook it. I'll ask them if they're a good cook.
And then Boys to Men will start playing them. Oh, man.
That's right.
And then Family Feud comes on, and you're set for the night.
What's behind door number 2?
Yes,
Cody says something in a training video.
it's right behind you.
Oh. You trash talk him, forget it. But he said something that I think you can use on this page. It's not fuzzy math, it's clear.
Okay.
And just lead into it.
And then based on that, so then the annual growth rate by year 5 should be projected at 5%, and by year 10, it's 10%.
No, this is just saying, here's the graph. Some people say it's 10, some people say it's, because some utilities go up
got you.
10, but the
Okay.
national average is
The
3.4,
national level.
based on the last 10 years.
But if I find through my little research what it is for the state.
Yep.
Then I can just show that.
Yes.
If you ask the customer how much it's gone up and they say like a ton, then you use that same
Ton.
vernacular.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Echo it.
It's gone up,
Yeah.
I don't know what they say in New York, a
Yeah.
bazillion percent. Shit, dude.
Oh, wow.
Oh, HR violation number 2.
Sorry.
Okay, so here's the production for year 1, and then it's got the degradation rate, and here's the estimated production for year 2, and based on the 2.9 escalator and a little bit less power, this is your estimated average monthly payment. Okay. In year 21, you're seeing this $403. That's assuming that the gateway failed in year 21, and if you were to have to go buy one, that's what it would be, which would lower your overall savings over a 25-year period. So we will put in estimated repairs after the PPA. Now, if they renew, they don't have that fee, but if they turn around and buy it, they potentially could have that fee in replacing that gateway. Okay. So again, it's just about being upfront.
That's only if they
But I'm
purchase.
not
That's
familiar-
only if they purchase. Yes.
I'm not familiar with this word gateway. What is gateway?
The monitoring.
The
The
monitoring.
monitoring device that, the computer that goes back and forth between SunEdison's Rock and the home.
Okay, so they would have to pay an average 403, but it's a one-time payment.
And I have no idea what the gateway is going to be in 21 years.
Right.
I mean, it could be, you could go down to 7-Eleven and pick one up. I don't know. Can I get a big gulp and one of those SunEdison gateways behind the counter?
Go ahead, ask the whole
Is this gonna be like now where we just show up, they don't actually get, because right now the proposal, we just show it, not until after the site survey to actually get anything on paper?
They actually get
Same as
the
now.
actual contract.
Yeah, you'll get the proposal and you'll run their credit and you'll have the contract sent to, to their
The same
email.
way.
It'll be the exact same as right now.
Well, they'll sign the
The process
agreement.
is the exact same.
But the credit is run by Evolve.
No, government incentives, yeah.
But, well, I mean,
Yeah.
the CAD, the old CAD, or,
No, not the cap.
not.
That, initially, we were looking at doing that, but it'll be by SunEdison.
But right now, what do I press on my phone? I press the.
We'll give you the
We'll do that
procedure.
tomorrow.
Okay.
We're sending that out.
So this is the assumptions page. So it says, okay, here's the estimated electrical usage. Here's what your current monthly bill is. The shading is at 97%. This is another thing that customers get fooled by. When a proposal is built in initially, the person building it for you is going to look at the home and go, there's shade, there's a chimney. I'm estimating that there's 97%. So there's really 3% shade, 97% sunlight.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. I know it's confusing.
Shade.
I was-
Yeah. It'll give the orientation and the slope. But anyway, that person designing it could look at the home and go, you know what? There's a huge tree. I'm going to go to 90% shade, or 90% sunlight, 10% shade. And what's going to happen is this estimated production over here would go down in that scenario. Okay. Then you've got the orientation, the slope, the system size happens to be, based on the size of the panel and number of panels. It's this. Here's my AC, KW. Here's the number of panels that they're this size. I'm using a microinverter, whatever the inverter is. Here's my degradation rate. Here's my utility rates. This is another thing that some people, when they go design the system to show more savings, they'll put them in a different type of utility rate, and it shows more savings. They may go in there and put, oh, there's no shade, it's 100%. It'll show greater savings. Those are all little things that when you really look at a proposal, this is the telltale all from one proposal to the next.
Shouldn't the shading say 3%?
Yeah, I know. It should.
That really should. Now, as far as the estimated state tax credit, would that have?
Would not
we have
apply
a
because it's a
chance?
PPA. This is,
No, not the federal, I'm talking about the New York State.
oh, yes. If they would have clicked it, this one was actually made in Mass, so that doesn't really.
Right, but that
wouldn't
will
have
show up for us.
Yes.
Okay.
And it would,
As to what that specific customer would get, or just the up to 5,000?
it'll say up to 5,000 and it's saying it's not guaranteed. Right there, it says not guaranteed.
Okay, and again, because I was never completely clear on this, based on what is it determined if they get 5,000 or 3,000?
They pay taxes.
The what?
If they pay taxes.
And if they don't pay them, they don't get anything. But I've seen people that get 3,700 or people that get 4,000.
It's just on the proposal.
And
That's
it's,
just in the proposal.
Yeah,
That's not even true.
it depends if they work and pay taxes. So
Right, but I mean, the cat guy wouldn't know.
Yeah, just take
So
it.
it's just
Just
I
take
guess
basically.
they
it.
got to pay 4 times that
Yeah.
amount over 15 years to make that equal 25%.
Okay, so I would say up to $5,000, but it's the way that you first explained to me, right? So that it's 25% from whatever they spend for the full year, up until they reach whatever their amount is.
Up until they reach $5,000 or 15 years, whichever comes first. So if they only spend $1,000 per year on their SunEdison bill,
Mhm.
they're gonna get $250 a year.
Up until they
15
reach
for-
5.
For 15 years. They're
Right,
not gonna max it out because they don't spend enough money on the electricity. $250 times 15 years is $3,750.
but if the customer asks me, so how do I know if I'm getting 5,000 or 3,000? Like, what do I
So
say?
if they
get
pay-
25% of what they spend on their bill back for 15 years. If you spend $2,000 a year, then you're gonna max it out in 10 years. But if you spend $1,000,
Right, but
then
if
you're
they
not
ask
gonna
for
max
an
it out.
amount, how much it's going to be, because they're gonna see it up there, up to
Don't, you
5,000.
can't give them an amount because it's based on production. So you're over promising.
That's what I'm asking, if the customer asks, what is the best way to?
I've never had a customer ask. You
Mhm.
just say 25% of what you spend. If you spend $1,000 that year, you get $250
and you pay
back.
that much in taxes, you get 25% of it back.
just don't break it down for the customer, honestly.
Just ask them, do you pay New York State taxes? How much did you pay last year? Great. You spent $1,500 this last year for electricity. Now you're gonna spend whatever, $1,200. You need 25% of that back to take off what you owe the state. That'd be $300. It's gonna vary every single year. But giving them specific answers like that is making promises that you can't keep.
Yeah.
You're gonna have pissed off people.
And I would say, like, from a ton of the questions now that I've heard, specifics too specific before things are kind of set in stone after site survey and the agreement kind of has everything set into place. Generalities and being, more general about the process and having them love solar and fall in love with solar than these specific things is far better than getting tied to these little things that have to be explained or changed or whatever. So if we could let him go through the proposal at a higher level, we can get into specifics offline and answer these questions. I'm gonna talk about speaking more generally, but it's like, I try not to say a lot of things that just, I don't know yet, we'll figure that out, or this is gonna be, in a range, but you give it an exact amount or try to get into like what they're paying in their taxes, it's, you're not an accountant.
Well, no, I'm not, and I don't talk about it unless it's necessary, but when the customer is one of those, and I've had several of those customers that were very specifically asked me, so what are we gonna get, and I just want to be prepared for every question, which is why I ask questions.
But if you get the same objection or you get similar questions over and over again, you're saying something within your pitch
I know.
to elicit that to come back.
I know that, but I'm not saying I get this all the time, but for the customer that does ask me, I don't wanna go there and spend like, gee, I don't know. So, yeah.
Okay. So the very last page is just them signing it. This is very clear that they understand by signing this, they are not obligated to purchase the solar solution.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, that is really
That
cool.
is very cool.
So it's not a contract that sometimes people are afraid to go sign things like this.
That is so.
This is not a
cool.
contract. It's just saying, I'd like to be able to go, one step further.
Even the fact that it says interest, that they're only confirming interest, that's awesome.
Like a
I
letter of
love
intent.
this.
Yes,
That's a good word.
Are we
That's very
e-signing
cool.
this like we did before?
it is e-sign. Okay.
So it's gonna be like a button there that they press, or?
What it's done is that it's actually done on the back end from your people. They, once they hit send proposal, it will send an email to the homeowner.
Right
After the generation of the credit score being checked.
No, technically, you're going to send the proposal, and then that will open up the credit check. But if let's say you didn't even present a proposal and you just wanted to find out if somebody would get a credit check, you can do that also. You can initiate credit check prior to even building a proposal.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
but
because
you're
just so
saying,
you know, like, we don't have, this going on the proposal, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can use this as a sales tool if you want to, but people don't have to sign this. So this isn't a.
You guys are not required, okay, that's awesome.
It's just this is just a proposal. This is just a.
Oh.
If you can,
This isn't a contract. You're gonna say send a contract afterwards.
so
And then
if you
send a
can,
contract just as they're doing now.
This is for all those wussies that have to do 2-touch sales and they can't do 1-touch sales.
I think it's an advantage.
and in that
So-
other actual, when you say please have contract, is it gonna stay the same cool wording, then I'm just confirming my
No,
interest?
you're signing a contract. It's the same as what you
No,
sign
it's-
with solar.
It's gonna say that you can cancel any day up until installation.
I
Now,
got you.
I don't want you to cancel, but that just tells you that we're gonna take on all the risk. We're gonna do everything to make sure that the system is right for your home. I know you're gonna love what SunEdison can do for you, and if you don't, you can cancel anytime up until installation. I say, you can, but I don't want you to,
Mhm.
kind of forcefully,
Sure.
and then I come back and say, we're gonna take care of all of it. It says that, and it's great.
Cool.
yes.
I don't know if I'm asking a question on page 6 and you're on page 3, but when they finally get that email, the contract is signed for the site survey,
Yes.
will we have, like we do now, we promise to you?
Yes.
I like that, how that laid out.
It's actually very similar to solar system.
And no charge.
Right, English again.
Yeah, I like that.
Plain English, but not.
Universal standard.
She's out already.
Not real English.
Really?
No. Okay, so if there's not any question on the proposal, I've got 3:30. I don't know about you, but would you like to take a little break?
I got 334.
3:34, 3:30, 3:34, yeah, definitely 3:34. Joe,
Okay.
Wapner.
Back
Okay,
in.
so 45,
Okay.
not 45 minutes, quarter till,
Oh.
3:45.
And as of right, well. I know, but I wanna help you. You know, we can't, we're like recording right now, so write down all of your questions, and then let's just. You don't pay for what's produced. You pay for what's produced. Exactly. So we're projecting the usage to build a system, and then that system is guaranteed to produce what we say it is, plus or minus %. And they pay for what's produced. If they don't use it, that goes off to the utility, right? And then comes back to them as a credit.
So it's still extremely important to make a precise, as close as possible, precise proposal. But then again, the proposals on the estimate. Like I use out and does the whole thing. Takes a look at everything. And I can still use the same lines that we designed.
Proposal is just an estimate.
Right, and then when we
It's
come
just an
out,
estimate.
we still are able to say that 80% is out. We basically
Yeah, I didn't record this,
design
isn't it?
to make sure.
The proposals both by 10% or more. Right.
You have to do a rewrite. So you have to have them, you'd have to do a new contract. Well, if you don't have to re-sign the proposal, it's really not gonna matter. But if you're writing this showing the customer the proposal, and it's showing, 20 panels, but all of a sudden they get out there, it can only be 15,
Yeah.
that would be outside that 10% in their contract. Since you don't have to sign that, it really doesn't matter. But you're gonna still wanna go back to the homeowner and explain, yeah, I know I told you 20, but we did site audit, and what we found out was the setbacks in your chimney and the pipes coming up out of the roof, looks like we can do about 15 panels.
10% on 20 pounds, just like 18. If you're off by 3, you gotta go out.
Right.
All over again, I can imagine.
But always the same, because you're still the rate.
But most PPAs are only 5%.
If you're buying gas.
Ours is 10.
If.
So there's a larger window for you to have error.
But gas prices are lower overall, you're gonna pay less than you
It's
paid
not
the year
like-
before. And the same, look at it like a step down. In the winter, gas prices are lower and you use less.
Maybe it
So you
is
spend
enough that
But
they're
I
not
always
interested
just
anymore.
directly
Probably.
compare it to, imagine what it would be, the same fluctuation, but not at your rate of, before, but at your rate of 15 or 16.
Sure.
So the fact is that with us, they're still locked in for whatever we say, at least for every time of year. So even though it fluctuates, it doesn't fluctuate like the national grid, where it was 14 cents to 24 cents on a monthly basis. So
No,
it's giving
it
you
doesn't,
more.
it doesn't, the price isn't gonna change, the price is fixed for
With
the year.
us, but national grid isn't, so I can still use it as something.
Sure.
You see what I mean? So even though, yes, the bill is rising and going down, rising and going down, you could see kind of none of what to say. I'm used to the lease, and that was such a good, I got them to really strong, they got to explain the lease and how they have fixed monthly payments, so they always know what they're getting into. So I'm just basically thinking it could be like a downfall to say. well,
Hey, where are you
bill
at
is
Monday
rising,
and
goes
Tuesday?
down, rising,
Vacation.
down.
Oh,
So
that's
either
right.
they can conquer that
Get married.
and yes, it's rising.
Trying to go to Belmont?
Whatever it's rising,
I'll be in
it's
Belmont with a
rising,
guy,
and
and
You
I
will.
just was thinking if you were there, then I definitely wanted you to meet this. It's a guy I'm recruiting.
Right. Yeah, Dana told me about it.
Oh, okay.
So Dan is gonna be in Sacramento.
Yeah, it's
Dana
gonna
called me
look
yesterday, and
like
she was,
they're
we gonna be on
building
Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
The group's coming in and they wanna be able to go see it. So she's gonna try to bring in, I think, Steve.
Yeah.
He's who I recommended. So Steve is in charge of integrating dealers. I mean, he'd be able to kind of show them and give an idea of, SunEdison. And I can send him the PowerPoint so he can at least go through it. But number two is to have,
That's where the incentives.
to have maybe BJ actually do it, or Cody, if they're able to do it. Because they've already seen this portion of it with SunEdison, PPA, that I think they could really turn around and go present it. It's up to you.
Okay.
Dana, but
Yeah, I think the more people that we can interact with, like 30 to 40 minutes with them or an hour with them, just get different perspective.
But next week I am going to be out there. I'm going to be in Sacramento and in Riverside.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if they're going to be around. You're going to be around.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good, man. I'm happy. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Enjoying the presentation?
Oh yeah, really excited about it.
It's a lot to take in, but it's a lot of really important and good stuff.
Yeah, it's good, it's good. I like it.
I got to tell you,
It's a good change.
Yeah.
It's a very good change.
it's a completely different feel trying to be recorded in the smaller group than it is just like yesterday and the weeks before. This is weird. I don't like being recorded.
Excited?
It
was the only piece of jewelry I ever wear. Yeah. I'm not a family person, but it's the only piece of jewelry I ever wear.
Yeah, no.
I actually bought this off of my old money. I was like, that is a really nice watch. I'm buying it.
Okay, I've got a lot.
I was just gonna go do snap on me. So yeah, I gotta clean it up a little bit. Other than that,
Okay. So.
I'm gonna trade Tesla before the announcements. I'm hoping they pop us too busy.
You got a position in it right now?
No, I was waiting for them to nap because news came out about it and it's up to 218 to 235. So I was waiting for it to back down and it wants to run off to the announcement. So it's usually just gonna drop.
Get a bigger room next time.
I know. You should see this yesterday. There was probably 35, 40 people. No, not in here. In a
They
room.
announced it, but over the
Room
last
might have
couple
been
of basically.
2 times, maybe 2.5 times the size. It was not very big. Not for 40 people.
They were getting into it. It's when published an article what they're doing with it.
That visual, that fundamental will never change. So I can say it in any market I go to, I can say it if, let's say you go sell in Czechoslovakia today.
Just, I'm gonna go over the actual contract.
We're gonna keep it stable
I'm
for
gonna
as
go
long
over
as
the
you have.
contract and then
So pricing to me,
Okay.
I
the
don't
whole
like
thing of going into the
I
sound system and
went from
everything.
Puerto
Yeah.
Rico
We're gonna
to,
scratch
I
it, yeah.
drove to Jersey, I sold in Jersey, I sold in Maryland. I got on a plane, I flew to Phoenix, right? I had no idea the name of the utility, I had no idea the price. I really didn't. I'm like, you're a utility, because I didn't even know the name. Yeah, I need to, I keep drinking and it keeps needing to come out. I don't understand.
Funny how that.
It's nuts, but
You should see yesterday. You actually held it pretty well yesterday.
I did.
I couldn't. Walking the streets, I went to the bathroom 3 times.
Oh,
Where?
well, I probably went 20
Subway.
times yesterday.
Subway, a restaurant, and a street.
Just because I'm on this thought, I just want to say it. From me going from Puerto Rico to Maryland to New Jersey to Phoenix in like 6 days. Okay, I got to Maryland. I did not know the utility, and it's like PSG&E and FYZ, right? And I ended up using that to my advantage because there was like 2 utilities, and I didn't know which one. I didn't know which one paid and which didn't, and I was kind of confused. So I just joked with customers about it all day long, like PSG&E and PG&E or whatever, XYZ, and they'd smile and laugh and like, let's take a look at your bill, you know, because I didn't know. And I learned to sell with fundamentals. Okay, the fundamental is that we're going to provide these solar panels at no cost to you if you qualify. We're going to lower your rate, and we're going to keep that fixed, you know, for as long as you own the system. You know, we're going to keep a price stable, and in Spanish I would say estable. So I'm going to lower the price for you, and we're going to keep it stable. And I'll back, if I'm up on the porch, I'm going to back away, you know, and I'm going to show them, right? If I'm at a door and they have the bars, you know, and there's a bar, I'm going to lower it and I'm going to go right across the bar. Like, see this line here? I'm going to give them a nice visual of it just being stable. But I don't say the price. I don't know the price. I don't even care what the price is because we're not going to do a deal for you unless we save you money, you know? So they ask me something specific, you know what? Let's take a look at your bill. And I'm putting, you know, I'm coming in the house. Okay, let's go. So fundamentals. And I'm gonna get to that, we're gonna talk about it, but fundamentals are super important, because they don't change, right? Lowering their bill, saving them money, or saving the planet. Or making buku bucks, you're saving a ton of money, right? And I can speak in that generality to anybody on the elevator, you know? What do you do for a living? Oh, I provide panels at no cost to people that qualify. What kind of, oh, I didn't even say that, solar panels. Lower your energy costs. You spend a lot of money on your bill? Yeah, it's like $300. Hey, give me your number, I'll give you a call. You know?
Elevator pitch, baby.
That's your pitch. And it doesn't have to be so specific. And when you get into a situation where you're totally in the house and got a proposal, then we can get to brass tacks. We can start talking specifics, you know? But,
Did you get some Red Bull?
no, I drank this thing.
Bali?
I lived in Brazil, so I chose
Oh, you did?
Brasilia Blueberry. Yeah, do you speak Portuguese?
Yeah.
Portuguese?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 2 passports.
Can I have one?
I lived in Brazil too for a year.
Are you even legal?
I heard you say Portuguese.
This has to be muttered.
Like the people from Portugal. So you lived in Brazil?
Yeah, Sao Paulo, where I was before. And Portugal too, I lived in both places.
Wow.
For work.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
I know Guarujá and Bertioga in São Paulo.
Guarujá?
Guarujá. It's on the beach.
Oh, it's a place there.
It's nice.
Okay, it's a quarter till.
Okay, it's from.
I got a huge Brazilian population around it.
Yeah.
Denver, like,
Oh,
All right.
Denver's loaded.
great restaurants.
Great club. Actually, it's a cultural center.
I like to come sell with you.
Yeah.
That'd be a blast.
I'm doing it now at my Portuguese community in Hartford. I was taking that little thing I'm
Just
doing
start-
up to Ludlow. And get the church involved, of course.
So here's the actual
We could
contract.
take that and probably bring it to Denver.
Probably could.
So don't get hung up on everything that you see on this contract, because there could be things that have already changed since this original one was generated. But this prepayment, if any, would be stated there. Down payment, if any, would be stated there. First year electricity rate, cost per kilowatt hour would be there. An annual electric escalator would be there. So this would be the 15 cents per kilowatt hour that you're selling to the customer. This would have the 2.9. And then the estimated total production for this system was 8,753 for year 1. These right here, these are just things that we've requested to say, okay, well, if there's never going to be a prepayment and there's never going to be a down payment, just take it off the list. I don't need it on there. I don't need to have another line to explain to a homeowner.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the customer's information. This is another great thing. These just different points that they're selling points. They're points that you can go back over that give you additional credit. So, here's the insured maintenance repair, SunEdison, I know we talked about that earlier. It's no cost to you. We provide the 24/7 monitoring at no cost to you. We warranty the roof against leaks at no cost to you. And the rate you pay of electricity, excluding any of the taxes, will never be more than X% per year. Okay, so it kind of spells out those things. We're very clear. We want you to know that right up front. We don't want to hide it somewhere in the contract. We want you to know right up front. Okay, so here's your information. I'm going to have the date of the contract. I'm going to have.
Sorry, before you go.
Yeah.
The option in 20-year term. Right now we have the upgrade, like me. Would that be possible?
On what?
When we do it now, sometimes they don't want to remove it, they don't want to extend it either. They want the latest and greatest. The only catch with that, you have a new contract. But you have the option in year 20 to now do a new contract with an upgrade. Something like the newest model car, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So that option to get a
So
new
whether it's-
contract with an upgrade.
So whether it's in print, you can still talk about that.
Yeah, so you understand your visual guide, so just say provide, build a root system at no cost to you.
There's
At
things
that
that I
time,
could say
you go
right
back-
now.
You can go back to the utility board, you can sign a new agreement and have a new system put on there.
I'll say it, but as a salesman, I try to use all the senses. When you see it and say it, it reinforces
believe
it. It's
Yes.
good. It
And
just
sometimes
helps.
customers actually ask, is that in the agreement? Is that in the agreement? And it
Just
helps
So
that you
part
can
of
show
what
it.
you can do is people aren't necessarily going to follow you word for word as you're reading this contract. And this is what I know what salespeople do. is they go through this, and really here it talks about all your different options. So you can have the option at the end of year 5 to be able to go ahead and purchase it. You can continue on. Let's say you sell your home, you're going to be able to turn around and be able to reassign the power purchase agreement to the new homeowner. You could buy it at year 20, or even at the end of year 20, if you'd like to upgrade the system, you could upgrade the system. So that's really kind of what you're looking at right here.
Okay.
I mean, that they're not going to read word for word. Wait a second, I don't see that on there about the whole upgrade.
Word by highlight accent. I'll point to that word upgrade.
Right.
And then I'll talk to at no additional cost with a new contract. So just like now, you have a new, rate term, but there's no cost to you, you just upgrade it, no cost.
Right.
Something.
So I'll just point the upgrade in there.
Got it.
Word.
I see.
So I haven't seen it up there in the promise in regards to being able to cancel it prior to construction.
We don't really want to put that in bold. I don't really want them to go do that. So that is within the contract, because they go sign this contract, they're going to have the typical 3 days right of rescission on this contract. But in the end, they can turn around and go cancel up to the day
So
before
basically,
construction.
they're just going off of what I'm telling them as
No, it
draft.
says it.
It says it, it's just not going to be on
On
the
the
front
top.
page that says,
Gotcha.
hey, just so you know, go ahead and cancel all you want.
No, gotcha.
I don't want them to,
Of course.
Yeah. okay. It will give the annual percentage rate. Here's the term, the escalator, so 20 years. This is my cost of power that I'm starting out at. Here's my schedule. So this is the termination schedule. So I have year 1, I want to go sell the system, or sell my home and buy the system. It's going to show what you're going to pay in year 1. It will show what you're going to pay in year 5, year 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, that's cool.
That's typical.
And there is a SunEdison University video or tutorial that you can go through, and it will go through this contract point by point. And Mark does it. He's actually funny during these tutorials. He's normally not that funny. Sorry, Mark. But he was actually funny during these videos or these tutorials. This just talks about maintaining the property. It talks about malicious acts towards the solar system. So let's say the homeowner turns around and goes up on the home and starts taking a sledgehammer to all the panels. That's not covered underneath our insurance. Okay? That's a malicious act towards the panels. So they would be held liable for that.
What about a hurricane or something, or is that an act of God?
That's an act of God, and that would be covered underneath our insurance.
What about that condition about the pool? Is that-
Yeah, let's go back.
You cannot heat.
You can't just use it, you can't re-rig it just to heat your pool. Is that what you're saying?
You can't heat a swimming pool with it. Same thing in Solar City's contract.
Yeah.
I just saying, one of the funny things about this is you can't heat a swimming pool with it. If you heat up a swimming pool, you want to get
Right, you can't
you want to get solar water.
Okay.
Even if they have an existing pool?
It
they're
is-
heating it with their
Because
household
it's
electric.
directly can use it.
They're talking
There
about
are people that get hung up on that very point. I believe there is some law that says you can't do that. That's the reason why it's in everybody's contract.
You can't electrically do it. I didn't know
It's in everybody's contract that I've ever seen.
It may have some,
That is industry standard across the board.
Okay, so here's automatic payment, late charges, automatic pay. If you elect for this option, you will receive a discount of $15 per month. So they just saw the monthly payment, estimated monthly payment, and if they do it, it's $15. So if you'd like to save, we didn't even talk about this earlier, this is actually great news. If you elect to be able to do the auto pay, you save $15 a month.
that, I didn't know about that. I thought it was the other way around. I love that.
$15.
I love it.
So
And then
here's,
you take it and relate it right to how much they're paying on their bill and how many months it's free and what it can buy them. $180 is like you and your wife, Bruce, Chris. I mean, it's on us. It's a great sum.
Reward yourself, Alex.
so return check fee, that was the $20, late charge was $30. So it almost works to their disadvantage to turn around and go write a check. This talks about the construction, the repair, the insurance, so the provider, so this is what we we do on our end. Things that they have to do on their end is they have to give us access to their property. They have to be willing to do that. If they choose not to give us access for whatever reason, then we are not held liable for underneath this contract. No alterations, so they can't go in there and go tack on a couple panels from somebody else onto our system because they don't own the system. Both parties are indemnified. I think that's how you pronounce it. So both SunEdison and the homeowner. So the homeowner is not, SunEdison is not going to go hold the homeowner liable, and we're not going to be held liable by the homeowner. So it's just fair. They do have to agree that we're doing a credit check. Change orders just talk about the fact that we can have 10%, we can do change orders, we can, you know, there's certain things that we have to notify them of and certain things that we don't have to notify them of. Saying that all the tax credits and rebates go directly to SunEdison. The transferring of it, how do you do it? If you sell your home, what are my options? So I can transfer the PPA, I can purchase the system. How do I know how much the system is? I go to, there's like some schedule and then it will kind of spell it out. These are my purchase options. So on the 6th year, on the anniversary date, beginning of the initial term, and every year after that on the anniversary after year 6. When you sell your home, if we as the provider ever cease to exist, or we go sell the system, then they would have the option to turn around and purchase the system, or at the end of the initial term, which is after year 20. These are the default ones. So this is actually where Mark was a little funny. He goes, attention all lawyers, you're going to want to pay attention to this section. This is just the default way that the homeowner could default on the agreement.
Speaking of lawyers, is there something in there like we do now? All disputes would be like third-party mediation?
It is.
Arbitration.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, arbitration.
Yeah. How many installations about arbitration?
Just so know.
That's the
So
whole,
this
that's the whole
talks
point.
this talks about the arbitration right here. Okay. If they initial there, when we take pictures of their home, we get to use those pictures. If they initial there. So if you'd like more stuff out on the web, have them initial that.
Dave, go there, go back. There's 23 right there.
This one?
See, now, the way I explain this, I say, right, you have your 3-day right of rescission for any agreement. I don't say contract, I always say agreement, okay? Because agreement's 2-way between us and you. We promise, you promise, okay? It's a 3-day right of rescission, but the cool thing is we go a huge step forward, okay? We're willing to take on all of the risk. You don't have to take on any of the risk. We'll do all the legwork with the utility. We'll pay for everything. We'll take care of everything. You can cancel. We show up with our trucks to install the system, and for some reason you don't like how my hair looks, okay? You can cancel. So go ahead and sign right here, and I'll take them right there. I'll let them read it. I'll let them see it. But I'll say, you know, make something ridiculous. Like if you don't like the color of the truck, if you don't like the tires that we have on the vehicle, you can cancel. Okay, I don't want you to, okay, but you can, and that just shows that we'll take on all the risk. You don't have to worry about a thing. You're gonna love what we're gonna do. So go ahead and sign right here, and I'll take them right to the place to sign. They want to go back and look at that, great. But at this point, they trust what I say. I've been sitting there for a long time. But that's a great clause. But we don't want them to cancel. And we want them to be in love with solar. The idea, the reason that we're there, what we're going to do for them, and not for a site survey. We're not giving outside surveys for free to just check out and see if they qualify. We want them to be in love with what we're gonna do for them. And we're so sure that they're gonna go all the way through the process, we're willing to take the risk so that you don't have to worry about it.
And one more thing to add on to that is to get credit by saying, and you're trying to, I don't want to say badmouth the competitors, but by doing and saying exactly what BJ said, and it's really it's the right thing to do. It's what great companies do to protect homeowners. And what you're associating with is, if they don't do that, they've got to be a bad company. They're not doing the right thing. So get credit. That's really it's the right thing to do. It's what great companies do. And they assume that everybody else that doesn't do it, which to my knowledge, nobody else does it, makes them a bad company. Okay.
Solar City.
Yeah,
Solar City has the exact same clause.
They word it nicely up front with a promise. So which, I forget how it is, like we're confident we'll be happy with the value and customer service. And you can, whatever the wording is, go on the promises section.
It says that we get to use subcontractors. All of the subcontractors are approved installers by SunEdison that have to go through the training facility in California. Here's the renewal. So this talks about, for up to 10 years, 2 5-year renewals. And this is at least 1 month prior. So this to answer your question of how soon. It's 1 month prior to the end of the PPA. And if you do not agree with the monthly payment on this PPA, shall expire the term of the termination. There was something that I read that was,
We will send you renewal forms.
You have to-
Prior to expiration.
but you have to opt out rather
If you're
than,
below it, if you don't send us anything in writing after we send you the renewal forms.
oh, got it. Okay.
That's a cool promise too. If they don't do anything, we're gonna charge them 10% less than they're currently paying. Like, they're always going to provide something better than what they're getting,
Then what the current cost of the utility is?
Yeah, it's gonna be 10% less than whatever they're paying. It's like, we're so sure that we're gonna be less than them. We're guaranteeing it in writing right there. After 20 years, if they renew, we're still gonna be 10% less. 10% off, discount,
And then you can see how everybody needs to sign it. Any questions?
How many different subsidies?
3. There's 3 spaces.
What number?
Homeowner.
Yeah.
One's for the cosign.
The third one's for the cat.
Any questions?
How many subcontractors are currently involved? What if they go out of business?
In this area? I don't know. We're constantly signing on new contractors, so I don't have a list, but they do have to be approved and certified SunEdison installers.
They go out to California and get trained.
Yes.
Orders.
Yes. And now if they go out of business because of our insurance, it becomes on SunEdison.
Well, the neat thing is.
We do require those installers to have minimum insurance requirements. Yeah.
Do you train each individual employee from that company or just a couple of key people?
It depends on it. Most of the time we try to get everybody, but it's hard to do everybody at every time. And, some people use them as apprenticeship and get them on the roof, get them accustomed to stuff, and then they send them out to the factory. So it's not always the first step. It's not always the first step sometimes. And it's good to have some experience on a roof before you go out to California.
Now, are the guys that are up on the roof also electricians? Are they doing the electrical work, or is that another separate thing?
Not everybody on there is going to be a licensed electrician, but those companies would have licensed electricians that are responsible for wiring that themselves.
It sounds like a bad question, but do they have to speak English?
That is not a requirement.
Here's the thing, they're certified to install solar systems and they're licensed by the state that they install in. They comply with the NEC, the National Electric Code, and all local law for electricity. The certification was written by Mark Morose, who's the director of SunEdison University. They can come to SunEdison, to the university, where they have 2 very large roofs with a solar system completely installed with all of the different inverters on the backside. They go through this program where they uninstall the solar system and then reinstall the solar system on these roofs. It's a fantastic training. They have to be certified they come in SunEdison clothing when they show up the door. So the customer will not know the difference. As he explained to you the warranty earlier today, the buck stops at SunEdison. They don't put it on anybody else, okay? But there's an extra layer of protection when they have an installer who is also trained, certified, licensed, bonded, insured, okay, for their state. So they're in the local market, they live there, they've worked there, they may have a great reputation. SunEdison then has extra insurance on top of their insurance for the system, and the buck stops at SunEdison. So if that company went out of business for some reason, or they fell out of certification, or they did something wrong, we can hire another person in that same regard, and we warranty it the same. So I would say it's, the neat thing about it is that we don't have to have, we don't have to own that process, and we're able to grow a lot faster than the way Solar City did it, where they would start selling product before they even had installers in the area or a warehouse, and then they're playing catch up all the time. We're able to move into a market, work a lot faster, and these guys are, they're a separate business, and we can hold them, I would say, a lot more accountable than Solar City can hold their installers, you know? Because they know they could lose the greatest company in the business, and we're gonna go somewhere else if they don't do a good job. So I think you're gonna see a lot better for your installations. I think you're gonna see a lot more movement and scalability than you see in Solar City. You know, Yuma, Arizona took Solar City to open like a year to open. In 3 days, we were ready to go with SunEdison. 3 days. It's cool.
And who doesn't want to go to Yuma?
Where's that?
I have no idea. Arizona?
I know there's a movie called 310.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
The train.
Yes.
I heard how you explained that 10% thing. I read it differently. Before I explain that, right now, the way I sell it to the homeowner, one of the advantages of the 2.8% cap, if they want to take advantage of extending it for up to 10 more years, you're taking advantage of that suppressed increase, because the electric bill goes up at a higher percentage, off of a higher number. So it goes up in bigger chunks. So as good as it is now,
That's why
it's even cooler, it gets better. So then with 20 years, they were at half. So I said you can continue on with the same condition of 2.8%. You know, so you now it keeps widening more and more the savings for the further 10 years. Here it reads differently. It reads that this PPA shall renew for an additional 1 year term at 10% less than the then 20 years from now current average rate.
If you do not re-sign.
With that,
That's if you don't re-sign, you automatically go to that.
That's if you neglect to pay attention.
Yeah.
If you're
but that's
doing
awful.
something.
Because
New York Solar City is the exact same. There is an industry standard contract. There's a .org company that has this exact contract.
We're all glasses.
This is the industry standard. It's the exact same thing as Solar City with a couple of differences, but that is the exact same thing.
So they have to make sure they renew for the 5-year increments, because if they just go by what's automatic, it's gonna be a
Correct.
huge increase.
So, correct, exactly. So it's use them to renew it, because if they're at 22 cents at that point in time.
That's not good. The way you present it's a positive.
That's
That sounds like 20 years from now.
20 years from now,
That's bad.
if it's 20 cents, then they'll be paying, and they don't renew,
It's 36.
it'll be 36,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's awful.
So that's why they set it up 3 months
There's still
before.
a,
Yeah,
there's still
you
a
have to
sticking
keep in
into
mind.
it.
Yeah.
They're still giving you a break,
No,
might be nice.
I say a positive, even if you get, no matter what, it'll still be less than the current.
You need to go back to another thing.
No,
You'd
I'm
rather
actually going to
Yeah,
have it
cut
lower,
it
but.
and hand it over.
Okay.
So first, do you have any questions for Jim?
Plenty.
So in New York, the max system size we can put on the roof is 110% of the previous 12 months historical usage. Are you following me so far?
Yes.
So with if they use 10,000 kilowatt hours, the max system per NYSERDA law is that we could do 11,000 kilowatt hours. The SunEdison have issues with doing over 100% offsets.
As long as that 100% or 110% in that scenario was lower than their current bill, you can do that.
Gotcha. Lower than the current bill. Okay. So, because we have some customers that, Miguel's got a customer, he's adding an electric dryer, and he's having family move in. So his customer is definitively going to increase in consumption.
Right.
So I'm assuming it can be a case-by-case basis, where if the homeowner understands that they're not gonna save money that first year because they're increasing,
They
using more
would
electricity?
still have to save money. So let's say that their current cost of power was $100 a month, and they want to have a system that is offset by 110%.
Right.
Well, maybe we came in at, if I was 100%, it was at $86,
Right.
but now I'm at 110, I'm at 95, I'm still below my $100 bill
Right.
threshold. That's okay, because I saved them $5 in that scenario.
Gotcha.
If the scenario caused them to go to $101, it's not going to get approved because we did not save them money based on the current power consumption.
Gotcha.
Okay.
There we go.
So 20 kilowatts is a max.
Is the max.
The solar city will no longer go over 100. I have to fight.
We asked for one more panel in that guy's case. Well, one panel, it's like one.
Evolve, right?
So as long as the last month's bill was lower.
No, it has nothing to do with
Average.
all solar city.
Average,
Average.
their monthly.
Yes.
You add one panel?
I'm trying. Okay.
Any other questions for Jim?
Yes, is there any timeline that I've been hearing about in regards to when the site audit happens and when the installation happens?
Well, if Cody was in the room,
I didn't listen.
so the site audit, I think, what did we
Site
promise? Yeah, is it?
3 to 5 days. I just got the times yesterday.
Business days?
What's that?
Business days.
3 to 5 days, not business days, days.
And
Sir.
so it's
Install, how long does permit take?
Depends where you are.
7 to 14 days. In some places in Connecticut, it's 30 days.
Okay, so they'll all be done within 6 weeks, 1 month. So,
Just gotta get your paperwork in.
yeah, get the paperwork in. I'm going to talk about compensation plans, but we have a 60-day guarantee from SunEdison.
Woo!
And I don't know if Matt's mentioned that to you guys at all, but it's pretty cool. I'll get up here in a couple minutes. I'm going to talk about a couple things, some incentive review and some the compensation plans, but yeah, 6-day guarantee is pretty
Even if
awesome.
it's not installed yet?
so 3 to
So,
5 days. from-
so, just so,
Oh, yeah, I mean,
so BJ, just so I can,
PTO.
if I can, I mean, hand it over, that way you can address it. If there aren't any other questions for me, I mean, I would like to hand it over to BJ to be able to answer some of those other little questions.
Do you guys want to take
No,
a break? No break? Okay, so glad that, I mean, just for you to drive the time that you drove, and I know you're gonna have to drive back, we really appreciate it. And we're really excited about the opportunity that you have to sell. Some of you have already been going for a while, and some of you are just getting your feet wet, okay? All this information is provided on Sales Rabbit and will be provided on Sales Rabbit so that you can go back, read, absorb. Yeah, absorb's such a good word, you know, because you put a sponge on it, it slowly goes in, okay? The fundamentals of solar, I'm really excited about SunEdison, okay? Because from the top, they are producing electricity on a level that for a while I didn't even understand, you know, gigawatts, right? Gigawatts of electricity and what it takes to power a city. And so they're bringing all of their knowledge, expertise from a global perspective and bringing it back down to a homeowner and providing a product that has been tested to the point where it's the best that there is on the market. So you should be so excited about what the product is and what we're doing that goes to your customer, that they can feel it. When they see your smiling face on their door, okay, they want to talk to you because you just kind of got this grin, like you've got something special that they need to hear about. When I'm on the doors, I do smile a lot. I want to smile. I want them to see something in me that they maybe haven't seen their whole day, their whole week, their whole month. Somebody that has something that they really want, okay? Because I get to move markets, my pitch is more general than maybe some of yours. I sold in Puerto Rico, and I took Cody can tell you, it took me a long time to even understand PPA and lease and financing and how it all worked. But I understand that somebody, right, through a tax credit, so the government is helping, some company, right, SunEdison, is going to pay for people to have panels installed and maintained for as long as they have them, and we're going to lower their energy costs, and we're going to keep it stable. And I really will say we're going to lower your energy costs, and we're going to keep it stable for as long as you have the system. Okay? I don't say escalator. I don't, you know, I bring it down and I bring it across. Okay? And I come away from them so they feel like I'm not in their face, and then I might come back up.
Stand right here. I can see you.
I didn't even want them to see. Okay, so I say I'm going to lower their energy costs, okay, and then I'm going to keep them stable, and I'm going to back away, okay? If I'm all the way up on the porch, you know, and I've shook their hand, I love to shake somebody's hand. BJ. Keenan, that's a cool name. How long you lived here? Are you from around here?
Yeah, about 6 years.
About 6 years. I double question, okay? I double question because if I ask 2 questions really quick, I'm not so I'm not interrogating them. I'm just kind of trying to get to know them really quick. And if I ask, where are you from? Did you grow up here? So I ask 2 questions, and it just kind of makes them relax because it's not so. Where are you from?
Hey, Chicago.
You know, then I get 1 answer, and I have to keep doing 1 question. If I ask a couple of questions, he can choose which one he's going to answer, right? So I'm giving him a choice. You talked about McDonald's and Burger King, right? You didn't? So when you give people a couple of options, and they kind of relax, but they focus on your options, right? So I say we're going to lower their energy costs, and we're going to keep it stable. Now, if you qualify, you've heard about the Natural Resources Act. Is that what it's called? The Natural Recovery Act, the Natural Resources Act? I change that all the time. I kind of like to because I kind of play with what they know, what they don't know, and, you know, I'm not like so right to my script that, you know, I'll say Natural Recovery Act, Natural Resources Act. I just kind of mix it up a little bit. I like to have fun. So I ask them if they've heard about it. If you qualify, the government and SunEdison are going to pay for panels, installation, and maintenance for the entire time that you have the system. Okay? How do you qualify? Good roof, good sun. Okay? You're over 18, right? That's, you know, my favorite, right? You're over 18, right? You know? Are you the homeowner? No, go get your mom, you know? Go get your dad. I've had that where somebody really looks young. I'm like, go get your dad. And she's like, I'm the homeowner. I'm like, you are lying? High five. You know, I give her a high five. I've called them. They feel really great. So you're the homeowner. Good credit, good son. Okay. I might take a look out at the roof and say, yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. It's a beautiful house. I like to compliment. Okay. Like to compliment because people love to hear about their home. They're the homeowner. This is a gorgeous place. How long you lived here? Are you from around here? How long do you plan on staying? Why do I ask that question?
We're going to try to disqualify them as fast as possible to get the next door.
Right? How long do you plan on staying? Till I die is what I want to hear. Because when they say, well, I don't want to sign this for 20 years, you're going to stay here till you die. Don't you want to have a fixed electricity price? Good point. Okay, we moved on, right? I don't know. We might be moving in like 6 months. Cool. Let me get your information. We trade information. You know, I'm not going to talk to them. If they're really serious, you know, I might ask a few more questions. But if they're moving, they're moving. Okay? How much you spending on your electricity? Is it over $100? 2 questions, right? How much you spending on your electricity? Is it over about $100? Cool. Let's take a look at your bill. Okay? Why do I wipe my feet? Let's take a look at your bill. I look down, okay? So I'm like humbling myself in front of them. It's their home, it's their castle, right? But I'm going down, I'm looking small. I'm not, you know, I'm small anyway. I'm Pipsqueak, right? They call me Pip, right? Pipsqueak. But if I lower myself and I wipe my feet, they're like, yeah, let's go take a look at bill. I don't say, can I come into your home? No. Can I take a look at your bill? I'm gonna ask you any more questions. Do you spend more than about $100 a month? Is your electricity cost high? 2 questions, rapid fire, okay? Let's take a look at your bill, and I want to come in. Now, you talked about sitting where you're comfortable. Did you go through the 3 C's, 4 C's? Okay. So sit where they're comfortable, you're comfortable. If they turn their back to you and they're walking in, I'm walking in with them. What do I do? The first thing, what would you think?
Compliment the home.
Perfect. What a gorgeous house. Are these your grandkids? Are these your kids? Are these your kids? No, those are my grandkids. No, you can't. I'm licensed with the state. You can't lie to me. You're not a grandmother. Really? I'm going to compliment. And I'm serious. I don't, you may think he's a total BSer, right? But I really enjoy going into people's homes. I really love seeing the pictures on the wall. I really love complimenting people and making them feel good. Because if they say nice things to me and I say nice things to them, we feel good, okay? But it makes it easier. They're going to look for their bill, and I'm going to find some things on the wall that I can talk to them about. When we find savings for their house, how much they're going to save in their utility bill, I always relate the savings, whether it's $1 is a hamburger for their grandkid. $1,000 is a car payment for 3 or 4 months for their kid or their car. $10,000, that's like college. I always relate the money to something that they care about, right? It could be a penny. It's penny candy. Did you buy penny candy when you were a kid? Who brought that up? Did you say that the other day? Did you buy penny candy when you were a kid? Man, I love those little Swedish fish, cinnamon bears. You can't do that anymore. But I can make a penny sound like $1 million, right? So savings relates to something that they care about, someone that they love, okay? It's important. Yeah. Related to a memory, related to something that just makes them feel good, okay? I do try to keep it simple. Okay, if I'm not selling, if I've made a few points and maybe it's a little uncomfortable or maybe they're asking me too much, I'll tell them I'll find out, okay? Or I'll let them know that I'll get to it, right? But there's a way to have a person, if they're interrogating me, they kind of have control, okay? So I will ask questions, and sometimes they'll ask me a question, and if I don't want to answer it, I'll ask them a question, okay? Let's say, give me a concern that you get on a regular basis.
20 years.
20 years is a long time. Okay, you own this home. I mean, I wouldn't be talking to you if you didn't own the home, but when you went to get a mortgage, do you have a mortgage on the house right now?
No.
You don't. Did you ever have a mortgage on the house?
Not on the one I had.
Have you ever owned a mortgage, Malcolm?
Yes, I have had a mortgage, yes.
Why are you giving me such a hard time? If someone really is giving me a hard time, and I learned this from the best salesman in the world, he'd be like, Malcolm, why are you giving me such a hard time? I'm just trying to do my job, man. Can I get a glass of water? You know, you're messing with me, okay? They laugh. It takes the energy back down. I want to know if he's ever had a mortgage. So,
oh, yeah.
Have you ever had a mortgage?
Sure.
Okay, when you chose it, what was the term?
30 years.
It was 30 years. Did you choose a variable rate or a fixed rate?
Fixed rate.
Okay. Why would it be an issue to purchase electricity at a fixed rate? Because right now you're locked into a lifetime contract with your utility company, right? Do you have any other option?
No.
Can you change? The people that move in here, do they have another option?
No.
Can the rate change? Is it variable or fixed?
Change, yeah.
Is it variable or fixed?
On the utility bill, it can change.
So it's
variable.
I want him to say it, not me. And I'm having, you know, you get in those conversations with these customers and it's kind of uncomfortable a bit, right? But I had to have him say it's variable. Who on earth would choose something to be variable? Yet that's exactly what you're doing. You're in a lifetime contract with your utility company and they can do this. They can do this with the price. Okay? Who said they like visual? You like visual? There's my visual right there. Going up. It's going up.
It works.
It does. Okay? So what if I could do this? Okay? And you might move your hand if you want to be super honest about the 2.9%. It's going to go up a little bit at a fixed rate, right? 2.9% is fixed. Your costs are going to be stable. Love that word, stable, right? If your daughter is dating a guy who's unstable, right? Doesn't got a good job, you know, doesn't, you know, cut his hair. He's got these little things on the back of his head, you know, he's unstable. Okay. Stable is a good thing. Okay. Give me another concern. Because 20 years, no big deal, right? Fixed cost.
Aesthetics.
Aesthetics. Okay. You are a leader, a pioneer in your neighborhood, okay? How many solar panels do you see in the neighborhood? There's none right now. When people see solar panels on your home, they don't see ugly, they see smart. Right? I'm like he said, did you say I'm gonna shut my mouth? You didn't say that today?
I didn't get through the 4 C's.
Oh man, sorry. Jim has so much good stuff. You ask him a question or you make a statement and then they see smart. And they're thinking, yeah, I want to be smart. Our panels are all black. They have, how do you say that the glass? Reduced anti-reflective glass.
Nice matte finish.
A very nice matte finish, kind of like your roof. They don't shine like the others, which is better for efficiency. That's the SunEdison way. We're always better, okay? It looks like a Ferrari on your house, like a black Ferrari.
Ferrari's glossy.
A matte colored black Ferrari.
You want a matte finish
Okay.
Ferrari. Primer black.
I want him to smile. They are. They are.
They actually look pretty good.
They look way
Yeah.
better than gloss. Yeah, they're my dry's gloss.
Let me dry his glass. Matte is the way. Okay? You said something earlier, right? I always gonna spin to the positive, but be very honest about what the issue is. What's another concern? Aesthetics, I mean, come on. You're gonna save 80 grand potentially. Is it worth it? Of course. And people are gonna see you as a pioneer. And guess what? Not only will they see that you're smart, but when they see that you've done something, they're motivated by how much money you're saving. You're gonna make money because we're gonna give you a referral. Okay, I'm gonna pay you when your neighbors want solar. So you could have a free electric bill. You sign up 6 of your neighbors, you could have free electricity for a year. Depends on what you're paying, but isn't that cool? So I'm getting off of it. It's not about aesthetics. Now I've said you can make money because everyone thinks you're the smartest person in the neighborhood. And now I'm saying, isn't that cool? And they're like, yeah, that's cool. We're not talking about, I'm not arguing whether they're gorgeous or not, okay? They're smart and they can make some money. What's another concern?
It's kind of what you just said. You said there's a referral. Is there a structural referral program?
Yeah, we're gonna have a more structured referral program than Solar City. Cody can speak to that a little bit better.
We will have it for you soon. Best I can say.
Any other questions?
Because their competition has it.
Absolutely, we will. And as a representative of the company, you can take from your personal commission and pay them if you want.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah. But we'll have a more structured program that's even better. Everything that we do will be better than what we've ever done.
Yeah.
We're like going from college to pro, you know? Questions?
When they say, yeah, I know that I'm gonna, move from here in about 5 years. I know that I'm gonna sell the house.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then I say, yeah, that's perfect. It also adds value a little bit to your house and interest in your house. And then they say, yeah, but that's not what my realtor says, blah, blah, blah. How?
Forbes says, you've heard of Forbes, right? Fortune 1,500,000, whatever. You've heard of Forbes, right?
Yes.
Forbes says that it'll add 7 to 12% of the value to your home. So it's like we're giving you, and I assume your house is worth what, like 800 grand? And I don't know. I'm gonna double the price that I think that their house is, okay? Because that's a compliment, right? So if their house is 200, I'm gonna say 4, okay? If your house is 400 grand, let's say it improves the value of your house 10%. That's 40,000 bucks, okay? Even half of that is 20,000, right? So I'm coming back to maybe what their house is worth. I don't know. I'm not an appraiser. I can compliment. I'm not an appraiser. $20,000, it's like we're giving you a $20,000 gift and you get to buy electricity at a reduced cost. Okay? That's what Forbes is saying. So I don't care what the realtor says because the realtor isn't an expert. Okay? Forbes, it's online. You can Google it. They like, really? Well, show me. Yeah, let's step in. Let's take a look. Okay? I'll Google that Forbes article. Forbes, solar, home price increase. It'll come up. Okay, it says it there in black and white, and I know you can't believe everything you put on the internet, but this is a real thing. People make more money when they sell their home. Okay?
7 to 12%.
7 to 12%. Okay?
Can I share a couple one-liners that I use?
Absolutely. Please do.
Can you imagine getting a home improvement without paying for it? They don't approve without even paying for it. If they're willing to pay a premium for your home, does that say they want it? Or, so if they want to pay a premium because now you boost your home value, that says it's actually something that they actually want.
Awesome. I hope you say that last one again.
If they're willing to pay a premium for your home, does that say they want it? 'Cause like, oh, the buyer probably won't want it. And I said, well, if they want to pay a premium for it, what is that telling you?
Yeah, that's great. Okay, Cody's got time constraints and you guys got to get on the road. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for coming. Thanks for being online. We really appreciate it. I'm going to give you my phone number again, 805-432-6177. If you need me, call me. We're so excited to launch this on Friday. SunEdison, I haven't spoke to it as much, but get online, learn as much as you can about what they're doing with the rest of the world. We are in a program that's going to last for years and years and years to come, and we're excited about it.
We don't have time to train since we're gonna hit the rush hour traffic.
Yeah, I have a call after the.
He's got a call. I can come back.
Before we go.
We're not leaving.
Yeah, we're not leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's give BJ a round of applause. Well, cool guys, thank you for being here today. Thanks for your participation. Sorry I've been in and out of the room so much. I've had a couple things I've been working on today. One of them is compensation plans, and the other is some incentives that we're doing for you guys for the month. So some of them will go through June, but we've got some pretty cool incentives planned for you, and I'll talk about those here in just a minute. Before I do that, you had a question. I can go ahead and address that for you real quick if you like. What was your question?
You might bring it up, I don't know. So we hit the ground running on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
How soon, I mean, tomorrow's Thursday, do we get the brochures, one pages, polo
They'll
shirts,
probably
just
be at Matt's house today. They should, I think they got delivered.
Yeah, I've been waiting for them, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, we sent them out to everybody on Monday, and we 2-day shipped everything, so everything should be there today. Yeah, so Matt can get that to you guys tomorrow, and you guys will be good to go. Okay. And Jeanette, I think they were sent to your house too. So cool. So anyways, guys, I just want you to know how excited I am about this transition. So we've been working with Solar City for 1.5 years, and the biggest thing I'm excited about is I feel like we're going to have a lot more flexibility with Solar City. They're a good company. They have a lot of great things about them. I really haven't enjoyed working with some of their back office systems though. They're kind of tough to work with. It's hard to get change to happen. For example, we've been trying to get them to open Yuma, Arizona for over a year. And they finally did a little over a month ago. Now with SunEdison, we asked them to do it about a month ago, and it took them 3 days, and they said, yep, we've got Yuma, go for it. So they're super flexible. They want to grow. They're eager to grow. They have the money and the financial backing to really go out and do it. So I'm really excited for this. There's going to be some bumps and bruises and some things along the way that'll happen. Obviously, this is we're all transitioning together. Expect a few things here and there that'll probably go wrong, but know that we'll fix them. Anything that can happen, we'll take care of it for you guys. We have your guys' backs. We want to make sure everything is as smooth as possible. We're working really hard to do that, but like I said, there will be some things that happen. So just expect that. If you have any problems, just let Matt know. Matt can forward it on to me, or if you want to go directly to me, just shoot me an email. It's just cody@evolvesolar.com. More than happy to help you guys out. So I want to talk about compensation plans real quick. So we've been operating off of compensation plans that are basically just $200 a kilowatt. That's what we've been operating off of for the last 1.5 years. We looked at some of the other companies in the industry, done a bunch of comparisons. We've decided we want to change our compensation plans a little bit. Excuse me. So what we're going to do, we're going to have some bonuses that you guys can earn into now as well. So it's still $200 a kilowatt as the base rate. What we've done is we've added on some bonuses. You can make anywhere from $0 to $80 a kilowatt on your installations. Okay, that'll be a quarterly bonus. We're going to release those to you guys tomorrow. We'll email it out to everybody. We're still working on the marketing guys. They're making it look pretty for us. But we're going to release that to you guys. So it'll have all the details as far as what you have to do to hit all those bonus levels. But we'll have that released to you guys tomorrow. You get, like I said, on a quarterly basis, just on your installs, $0 to $80 a kilowatt. We also are adding in an additional bonus. That's a quality bonus. So everybody's going to get a quality score based on surveys that your customers will be doing. So the customer service department will call your customers. They'll ask them how you've done. If you score in the higher tier, then you can get $20 a kilowatt. If you score in the lower tier, you get $10 a kilowatt on a quarterly basis. Okay.
So that's basically asking the customer how happy they were with you.
Yep. So now you can make anywhere from $200 to $300 a kilowatt. We're also working on a residual that you can earn over the course of 3 years. Okay. We don't have that 100% finalized yet. We're getting close on that one, but we'll have that for you as well. Okay. So, so you can earn a residual on your deals, which is pretty cool. You can start earning basically like a salary every month as you start building up a big pipeline of deals going through. What's that?
That's right.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm super excited about that part. Next thing we're going to do is the way that we have been paying, we've had the 2 different times you can get advanced money before the jobs get installed. We've changed that. It can be a little bit complicated sometimes. Now we're just paying 50% at PDA, which is basically final contract. Okay, so 50% at PDA and then 50% at install.
So final contract comes after the site survey.
After the site survey, just like it does now.
We go get it signed. That's when you get it.
Is there a timeline?
They actually don't. There isn't like the PDA is a little bit different than that. It's when the a little bit different process than what Solar Cities is, but it's basically when the actually Jim, if you want to explain PDA,
Yeah.
I know what it is, but
So there's a site visit. So you go out to the homeowner, tell them they sign or don't sign an original proposal. You let them know that there's going to be a site survey to double check all of our numbers so we know exactly what to fit on your home. And then that's going to be sent off to SunEdison. SunEdison is going to turn around and approve it. Once that gets approved, that's PDA approval.
Mhm.
Okay. So from that point in time, then, permits, one-line drawings and all that get submitted for the permit itself. But all of that initially, once SunEdison approves that PDA information, that's your first step.
that's when it triggers it. Okay, so it'll be soon. And so the site survey times are within 3 to 5 days. So you should have that done really quick. Usually within, you should have your designs and PDA done typically within about 10 days, 10 to 15 days on average.
So it's 3 to 5 for the site visit.
Mhm.
Once they submit it to SunEdison, we can take up to 5 days to get it approved,
Mhm.
depending on how many are in the system and everything else.
Yeah, so
the 10 days is
plan on 10 to 15 days, somewhere right around there. That'll be when PDA is approved, and then that would trigger the first
So
payment
that's not from the site survey, but it's from the day that you were there.
from the day you were there. Yeah,
Yeah.
from the day you sold the deal. Yep. Next thing that we talked about just a minute ago, really briefly, but is a 60-day guarantee. So this is pretty cool. This is probably one of my favorite parts about this whole thing. So we are going to have a 60-day guarantee on all these deals. If you guys sell the deal, it's ready to go 60 days later. You have all the permitting done, everything's ready to go, but SunEdison doesn't have the capability to get that deal installed, then you guys get paid on that deal regardless. Okay? So if it cancels, doesn't matter what happens, you guys are getting paid. Okay? Is that cool?
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, what he means, if you're paid on it and then it cancels for whatever reason, they take too long,
Yeah.
they're not taking that money back from you either.
Yeah. Yeah. So after 60 days. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. To me, that just puts a big vote of confidence in SunEdison and their ability to get these jobs done for you, because they're not going to want to pay out on these deals unless they're getting installed, right? And so they're going to get this done for you. They have the network and the capability to do this for you, and so they'll have these jobs done, I would guess, oftentimes within 6 weeks. So plan on faster install times, faster site survey times. Everything will be done faster than what we've experienced in the past. Solar City does have a good installation department. However, sometimes they can be slow. I'm sure some of you have experienced that. I've experienced it. I've had jobs that took 9 months to get installed. So it can take a while sometimes. But yeah, SunEdison's very good with their fulfillment. So yeah, next thing I want to run through real quick, and then I've got to hop on a call here. And if you guys have more questions, I can turn it back over to BJ, or you guys can take off, whatever you prefer to do. But
Zach's gonna come in 2 minutes.
Is he? Okay, cool. So I want to talk about incentives. So we're going to have some cool incentives for the month. We want to start, hit the ground running with SunEdison. So on Friday, well, for basically this goes through the whole month, but the first deal that you guys close with SunEdison on their platform, you get a $500 bonus.
Holy cow.
Okay, it's not drawn back. If the deal cancels, whatever, it's just a bonus that you guys get just for getting your first deal done with SunEdison.
Wow.
Okay. So I don't know exactly when it'll be paid. It'll be a week to 2 weeks out after the deal, somewhere right around there. But plan on that. It's $500. Everyone that does it. Next thing, basically, yep, and it's on top of your commission, so you still get your regular commission too. Some of the other things we're doing, and I've been working on getting these planned. I'm gonna send this all out to you guys. I'll send it to Matt tomorrow, and then you guys can. You guys can look through them and see what you guys are going to be able to earn. But we've got some cool stuff. So one of the incentives we're going to do will be, and I can tell you just some of them because I know more what they are now. But one of them we're going to do is we'll just send this out kind of at random times throughout the month. But a couple times throughout the month, we'll send out an email to everybody and say, hey, the first 4 deals or 5 deals or however many deals before noon today, you can choose between skydiving, a hot air balloon ride, and a glider ride.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool. Yeah. And none of the above. We can work. If you're super afraid of heights, we can work something out.
We're selling on Craigslist.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can pet a group of puppies.
Yeah, or that. So we'll have some. That's one example of one we're doing. Some of the other stuff that we have, we've got GoPros, MacBooks, dirt bikes, motorcycles. What else do we have? iPads. We've got tons of stuff. We have a $200,000 budget for incentives. 2 of the coolest ones, in my opinion, we're gonna split it up between experienced reps and managers, and then inexperienced reps, so people within their first probably 90 to 120 days, something like that. But we're gonna have 2 leases for vehicles. One will be a lease for a BMW. The other will be a lease for a Mercedes. So,
Are they electric?
they're not electric. Yeah.
Yeah. We're Charleston and we're smart.
Yeah.
You don't own it.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. You don't own it. It's a company lease. So, you would be on it as the driver, but yeah. So those are
This
some.
is
Of
also for this month, or that's coming?
This will be May and June. Between May and June is when the inexperienced one will start May 15th. So use that as a recruiting tool for the next 2 weeks. Say, hey, on May 15th, this is starting. Bring your friends and bring your family in, get them in here, recruit them in so they can earn the BMW or the Mercedes. The experienced rep and the manager one, that one's going, it starts May 1st on Friday. So that'll be the top reps. So we'll release all the details to you guys for that on Thursday. So, but yeah, we've got tons of stuff. We've been really working on this a lot. We've put a lot of time and energy into this, and I'm like I said, I'm very, very excited for this. I'm excited to be able to have more flexibility and more freedom. I really can't wait for this to happen. Guys, thank you so much for all you do. We're here because of you guys, because of your hard work. You guys are the reason that we've been able to get to this point. So thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for your participation today. Thank you for driving down here. But with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to BJ for a few minutes until Zach comes in. But thanks, guys, for being here.
We had a joke at Evolve. We do the slow clap, Right. So I want to talk about recruiting really quick. We want to grow, and we want to grow in a way that's major. Okay. And the way we grow in a major way is that a lot of people do a little versus a little doing everything. Okay. We have about 350 sales reps. Okay. The engine, the sales reps are the engine that is driving this force of change in this world. Like you're the ones at the forefront of this change. Okay. There was a guy in the hall earlier today. I didn't even catch his name, and I didn't get his card. He said he was going to bring me his card. He didn't. He's been in the industry for 40 years, the energy industry, oil, nukes, solar. He's just done it all, seen it all. Yesterday he had a meeting with someone from the EPA, and there were some other bigwigs from like the Saudi Arabia, and their like minister of oil, and the minister from Mexico, Pemex, was there. Like, I've never got that much cool information from anyone in the world about this industry in one. I just sat and just listened to him and just heard all he had to say. We are at the absolute forefront of this global change that has to occur. Population is growing. Energy needs are growing. There are people that there's 1 point, how many billion people that don't have electricity? 1 point something or other billion people, okay, that don't even have electricity. SunEdison is committing to bringing 20 million of these people by 2020 electricity that they've never even had. Okay, one of our employees, Baba Diallo, he grew up in Senegal. He studied by kerosene. He did not have electricity in his village. The Eradication of Darkness, that video is online. It's called Eradication of Darkness. You need to watch it because SunEdison is taking power to people that have never had it. And they're doing it in a way that's sustainable, where the people are going to make more money in their lives. They're going to have a better life. And SunEdison is able to provide it because they do good business. It's not just charity. It's good for them. It's good for us. The money that we help generate helps to provide for this program, okay? This change, right? We're on the forefront of it. We're in an opportunity in our lives where we get to make a huge difference. I've always wanted to change the world. I've never felt that I had this great of opportunity until the last few weeks. As I've learned about SunEdison, like I really have an opportunity to change the world. Not just my local world, the world. And I'm so excited about it. I know you can feel how I feel about this, okay? 350 reps, we want to grow to 1,000. How many people do you need to recruit to help us to get to that number? What am I supposed to do, this way?
Yeah, that way.
Okay, we learned from our English gentleman, Malcolm, that you say two like this, not the other way, okay? Or you could get it, right? So 2 for each person, it's not a lot, right? You see what bonuses are available if they come into the program and they're an inexperienced rep or an experienced person. To get a lease in a BMW for a year, that's pretty cool, right? So 2 people for each rep, we've hit over 1,000 people recruited, okay? You get a recruiting override when you recruit a person, and you could help change their life, okay? There are people that are out there that are working jobs where they are not specifically changing the world, okay? They're helping their family, they're doing their best, but they're not that happy. They want purpose. They want to feel like they're doing something, and right now they're not. Inspire them. Bring them into our fold because they can feel like they're doing something. They can feel happy about their job. Door knocking is hard. Taking leads and going into people's homes, sometimes it's difficult. You know, it's not an easy job, okay? But what you're doing, it's true, right?
I love it.
When you love it, you love it, right? I love it. I love going into people's homes. I love seeing the pictures on the wall, and I love changing the world, okay? Take this message to your friends and your family, people that need good jobs, okay? Because when we multiply, think of what we can do, okay? Right now we're selling a megawatt. Well, why don't we sell 10 megawatts a week instead of a megawatt a week? Then why don't we do 100, then 1,000? We can do it, but we can do it together. If a lot, do a little, okay? We're launching a new program. It's called Launchpad, okay? It's for new reps that have just gotten involved with the company. In their first 60 days, we've created a bonus structure where if they complete training in certain production benchmarks, over 8 benchmarks, they're going to receive bonuses. These bonuses are not attached to production, okay? The commission, it's not attached. It equates to about $4,000 over these 8 benchmarks that's theirs to keep, okay? It helps them get started. It helps them not have to feel like this is commission only. I can't make it. I can't start, okay? The benchmarks are easy to complete. The production is easy to complete. If they do the training and they get out and they hit the doors and they hit things that are attainable, they're going to make $4,000 that's theirs to keep, okay? It'll be directed or directly deposited into their account, and it's theirs. It will not be clawed back, okay? And they will have achieved the benchmark, so it's theirs. By achieving the benchmarks, they'll have produced something, sales. Those sales have associated commissions. Those commissions will be paid on PDA, 50%, right? And then 60 days after those commissions are achieved, if the system can be installed and it's not, what happens? You get paid, okay? If that system cancels 2 days later because something SunEdison did or didn't do, okay, you still paid. That's good incentive for SunEdison to get that job complete, and we know they will. They have a track record that's phenomenal, okay? That equates to about $10,000 to $15,000 over 60 days that they can earn. Wouldn't that be life-changing to somebody that's working a kind of a dead-end job? They've been there for years, they're making 40 to 80 grand, and they're just not that happy, and they could all of a sudden make $10,000 to $15,000 in 60 days, and then that 60 days after that, right, is getting the balance of that. So that's about $25,000 that they earned in that 60 days, right? And if they repeat that and repeat that for a year, they're making 6 figures. They're changing the world. They're making a difference. You're making more money because you've recruited them, okay? And when you build people, like money it's important and we need it in our world, right? We have to have it, okay? But if it's our primary focus, we get lost. When our primary focus is people and we look to build people and to help others, then we become rich because we change, you know? We grow them and they grow with us. It creates something magical, and money can't buy that, okay? It can be a product of doing good things, but it's not the end all be all. But recruiting and bringing people into our fold, we can all do it, and we should. I didn't recruit much in my first, few months that I was here. Now all I can think about is who else could benefit from this opportunity. I've got guys that are like considering walking away from high-paying jobs now, where I couldn't really ask him to before because I was unsure about the longevity of what we were doing. Let's say we stayed with a company who is reliant on the tax credit, okay? Solar City is a strong company and a great company, okay? But we weren't sure. Now I'm sure. I know SunEdison will make it through whether the tax credit exists or not. I know that SunEdison is going to be around for another 50 years. And that gives me confidence to say, you can quit your job and you can come with us and you can go and you can change the world and you can change your pay and you can change how you feel about your job. And it's a wonderful thing. Are you ready to roll? Sure. Yeah. Zaxter, do you have any questions for me? Somebody said they liked my tie online. Greg? Thanks, brother. This is about to change to orange. Take it off. I'm going to change it to orange. But thank you for being here. And I don't need a round of applause. I want to give you a round of applause. I have a 10-minute presentation I'd like to present to you now. Do y'all want to take a quick break?
No.
No? So what questions do you have?
I'm going to say something pretty thorough today.
Is the beginning rate for the kilowatt
You have
for
people on here?
this year, is it 15 cents a kilowatt, or does it vary different states?
It varies per market.
Per utility.
Yeah, per utility company, that price varies. We will always save them money. And you can, if you don't know it or you're unsure, I don't like to say the price. I just say, we're going to save you money. We're going to keep it stable.
It will be at Solar City's rate or better.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Because when you said 15 cents a kilowatt, we didn't show it 13 and a half.
It's going to be at Solar City's rate or better.
Okay. That's all I need from that.
So, thanks everyone for being here. I have totally not been present. As we go through this transition, there's some unplanned things that happen, and I have been on the phone, around the nation. I probably had 50 phone calls out there, so I'm sorry I haven't been in here.
Who are you?
Zach Kerr. Yeah, Zach Kerr. My official title is President of Sales, although I do many things outside of that role, and a lot of operational and other type of privileges. But I thought maybe I'd close this meeting up. I assume you guys are ready to leave. You're tired. You've been here. You've been blasted with information all day, and Jim does a really great job. And when I actually wasn't in here. Yesterday we sat in the training and began pulled out probably for 3-4 hours of it, and I was hoping that today I would get to sit in and because there's still things that I'm learning. There are things that I've been learning about SunEdison as I've been kind of engaging in the process with you guys as we all transition. So just a couple thoughts for you. I had the privilege of kind of introducing SunEdison to Evolve. So I was involved from the very beginning. And at the time, I also had the privilege of kind of seeing from a very high level executive kind of perspective of what was happening in the industry with a lot of the other players that you hear of and possibly compete against. And so I've had a lot of interesting conversations about the direction of solar, both nationally and globally, and kind of what the vision and future is with some of these companies. And as a result of that, I've kind of gained a unique perspective and somewhat of an education that, you know, maybe not, you know, a perspective that you don't get every day. You know, you meet with a lot of these executives. So in that process, you know, we went through a lot of kind of analysis of some opportunities and options for Evolve, and we honed in on the SunEdison option, and it just makes so much sense. Have you ever made a decision and, like, you know, maybe like a week into it, you realize, and you know for sure it was the wrong decision, you know, and you just know for a fact, right? And then certainly you've made a decision, and then like a day into it, you're like, yes, feels good. I made the right decision, you know. And then a few more days pass, and you're like, yes, this was definitely the right thing. And then a week and a couple weeks go by, and you're like, man, I nailed it. You know, we really nailed it. This just keeps getting better and better. Well, that's been the experience I've had as we've done this SunEdison deal. And certainly it was a weighty decision because, you know, it impacts the lives of a lot of people. And so, you know, Dan and I were, you know, kind of heavy-minded, heavy hearts as we kind of worked through this process, and our executive team as well. So we're really pleased. We're really, really pleased with the experience we've had. Has it been perfect? No, it has not been perfect. Nothing in life is perfect. And that's our role as people and creators and salespeople, is that if we want something, we got to go out and create it. And as we bring this relationship together, we kind of marry the best of both worlds, and we kind of work out each other's weaknesses and then strengthen and establish each other, just like in a relationship with a spouse or a significant other, right? And so it's been really neat to work together to strengthen each other's companies. And so at the heart of this deal is about you. It's about the individual. There were other options that we could have transitioned into that probably were more lucrative financially for the shareholders. But this deal made so much more sense because there was more continuity for everybody involved. I hope you know that. I hope you feel that. I hope you appreciate that. So here we are today learning about SunEdison and understanding the product. I'm certainly sold on it. I love it. I love the brand. I love the name. I love what it represents. I love the global aspect of the company. I love the mission and the purpose behind it. It brings a new dynamic to my life that helps me to be a better leader and a better person. Let me explain why. When you interface with greatness, anytime you interface with greatness, can you think of a time in your life when you were around something, whether it's a person, a company, an experience, that was just like, wow, they are the best at what they do. They are great. That person is very good at that particular thing. And it kind of rubs off on you, right? You're like, wow, man, maybe sometimes you feel a little inferior, you know? Like, wow, I kind of feel inferior around that person or this or that because they're really good at what they do and whatever. You relate? You get what I'm saying? And a lot of times it kind of opens your eyes to kind of the possibility there of, you know, increase or opportunity to grow or become better or more refined. And one of the things about us as human beings is that, you know, fortunately, we all desire increase. We all want better. The law of increase. You know, you want a better relationship today than you had yesterday with your spouse, hopefully. You want to have a better relationship and a better experience this year than you did last year. Hopefully this year you want to make more money than you made last year, right? We all desire growth, progression, and increase. And so when you kind of think about it and your eyes are opened around when you're around greatness, you kind of go, aha, there's this opportunity for me to become more than I am today. And had you not been exposed to greatness, you may not have ever had that kind of aha moment or that revelation. And it never really shed light on the areas where you need to improve. And so that's why you kind of hear people say, you know, you become like the people you hang around. And, you know, if you want to, you know, be an eagle, then fly with the eagles, you know, and those types of cliche statements. So the point is this: SunEdison is a very great company made up of a lot of great people. just like you and me, normal people. And the company has this global nature about it that kind of makes it wise and prudent and seasoned and experienced. And so the way that they approach like markets and financial decisions and things like that is, you know, done in a way with like deep background and global perspective, and how do we be, you know, as successful as possible. Whereas in the solar industry right now, you have a lot of these upstart solar companies that are like, they don't even like really have their economics figured out. Like they don't even know like what their P&L is going to look like at the end of the year and how their balance sheet is going to kind of come together. And they're out there willing and dealing and making deals with people and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, well, do you want to align yourself with uncertainty, or do you want to align yourself with certainty and greatness and become more? And my experience has been, as I've been working with SunEdison, I've become a better person already. It's kind of cool. Feels good. My wife notices it. She's like, hey, you know, you're nicer to me now, or whatever, you know. You're just happier. You know, you seem to be more engaged with what you're doing and more focused, and you take it more seriously, and you're more excited about it. What does that say? It says so much. It says that there's a story behind what we are doing that will empower us to do more. And I'm an example, and you'll become an example, I hope, as you give your respect and your commitment to the company, and as you focus on being better and being your best for this opportunity, you'll become more and you'll grow more. And at the end of the day, you'll make more money, okay? I don't really talk a ton about money. I talk more about what you have to do and who you have to be and what type of value you have to create in order to get money. We live in a society that talks about making money, and it's not about making money. It's about making value. And eventually you get to the point in your life when you just focus on being a producer and creating value, and you just know, hey, money's going to follow. And then what does your mindset become? Your mindset becomes create value, produce value. How do I make value? How do I create value for people? How do I get the most value out of everything? And now all of a sudden you're not really worrying about money, because money just flows in as a result of that. And you become highly productive, and you become really good at essentially creating income as a result of your value creation. So, you know, hopefully that's kind of the mentality you work yourself into. And then I just wanted to say this as well. I think that if there was ever an opportunity in a company and like just a time where like things align and make sense, it's really now. It's really now. From what I've seen, I mean, I'm a young guy, and granted, you know, I've only been around for 30 odd years, but you know, I have seen a lot of business in the last 15 years, and I've done some pretty notable achievements for my age. And I say that humbly, just that, you know, I've seen some things, and I'm pretty impressed with the opportunity that's in front of all of us. And I think that it merits us doing more than we've done in the past. I think it merits us doubling down and going back to our homes tonight and this week and saying, what am I going to do to step up my game and to take advantage of this opportunity and position? In sales, salespeople tend to migrate around from product and service and industries because they're looking for something that makes sense or gratifies their itch for income, or gratifies their itch for fulfillment. This is kind of a nice blend of all these things. And you have these natural kind of market forces working in your favor right now. Like you've got this really high organic consumer demand for this product and service. You've got the media talking about it, which is educating people, et cetera. So it's like in sales, you want to go find the product and service where exchanges are happening the most frequently and align yourself with it, because you're going to get paid more frequently if you're around a product and service that exchanges, right? On top of that, you're going to see some movement in the industry in the next. You're going to see a lot of movement, as you've seen in the past, but you'll see more movement in the next couple of years as well, as these companies shift around and change. And SunEdison is going to be the steady anchor that's going to be just consistent that you can build around. And you're not going to have to deal with the change and the inconsistency and all that bull crap. you can just focus on being your best. So I'm here and I'm really committed, and I'm happier. I'm happier as a person. My wife's happier. We're happier since we've been with SunEdison. And, you know, my commitment to you is that I'll continue to make decisions that will help you and your family to be happier and improve your odds of success in your circumstances. And what I ask in return is that you do the same, that you just be committed to us. Be committed to us and work through these challenges of the transition, and those that do will be rewarded, and you will have opportunity. And so long as you put your energy and effort into your work, the law of the harvest states that you'll be rewarded. So thrust in your sickle and go out and work hard. Put your energy into your people, into building people, building relationships and customers, and become great, become better than you are today, and make good money as a result. Other than that, I have a developing passion and interest for solar. I think that what we're doing is a real neat mission. I think that you know, there's more purpose behind what we are selling and you know, helping families to get than there is with a lot of products out there. You know, you hear people say that they want to change the world and they want to do something that has an impact, you know. And, you know, I can't necessarily say that I've always felt that way. Like, I don't necessarily care to, like, change the world. Like, I'm not, like, overly ambitious. Like, I'm not out to change the world. But I'll tell you what I am out to change, and that's people's lives. That's what I care about, the individual, the one person. That means a lot to me. If I can impact your life in a way that helps you and your family have a better experience, it's meaningful for me. That's my mission and my purpose in life. I know what my mission and my purpose is, and that's to help people, to lead people and to change people and to help them become better and to help people graduate out of captivity. And I have a gift for it. And so I focus my energies on expanding that gift and helping people get into better circumstances and situations. And each of you have gifts and abilities as well. And you have to hone in on that, and you have to grow that in your life. And it'll impact your personal life and it'll impact your career. Am I getting too touchy-feely? If not, you know, well, let me explain my thinking behind this concept, okay? What you do on the doors and off the doors in your personal life and your business life is one and the same. That notion that you hear people say, oh, it's just business, that's bullshit. That doesn't exist. It's one and the same. You're either integrous or you're not integrous. And the way that you live your life is the way that you're going to interact with people and the type of presence that you're going to build. And so in sales, it just happens to be that we're with people, we're interacting with people, and how the personal decisions we make in our life impact our ability to really engage as human beings and interact, for you to feel my presence and for me to be able to have influence and persuasion with you, to be able to really communicate, is contingent on who I am as an individual. And that's why I think this stuff is important. At the core of sales DNA, it's you. And it's the way that you live and the decisions that you make. And we are working towards creating an environment that represents and harnesses a successful breeding ground for the individual. And so as you move forward, I really do sincerely wish you the best, and hope that you'll go out and have a really awesome experience the next year, the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and however long you stay involved with us. And thank you for your time and your attention and your energy today and your devotion to this. Jim does a very good job day after day and puts a lot of energy into these trainings. And the thing that I love about his training style is that he can go down into the detail for you, and he can also kind of go, you know, real high. But I think that the information that he delivers really enables you to be a better salesperson and truly meet your customers' needs as those issues arise. So let's have an amazing, successful week, month. How do you have a successful year? By having 12 successful months. How do you have a successful month? By having 4 successful weeks. How do you have a successful week? By having 7 successful days. And and you can break it down and you can focus and live in the moment. You don't need to be overwhelmed by our ambitious desire for progress. Focus on what you can build and what you can do today, and go and grow and push yourself, and be open to being pushed and be open to doing things differently and changing, and you'll find that you'll arrive to new levels of success as you have that mentality and that aspect of humility in your life. So guys, thanks for listening to me for a minute and letting me kind of close up the meeting. It's really meaningful for me to be able to kind of share some of my thoughts with you. And I really am excited for the next couple of weeks. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. We need you. We need your commitment. We need you to go out and do your very best. It's the individual's contributions have a massive impact. So thanks, guys.
Okay, it's $50 to attend this conference. Kidding. Okay, if you have any questions, text them 805-432-6177. Thanks for attending. We love you. Ciao.
Try and clean up the room a little bit.